And now, a look back at some of the absurd conversations and interviews from the Opie and Jimmy Show on Opie Radio. This is the best of Opie and Jimmy.
I haven't talked to Brewer since the Mets thing.
I just came back from the Mets camp.
I heard.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, you really like the Mets.
What, like...
It's not even just that. It's baseball. I love baseball.
The fantasy camp you went to?
Yeah.
Mets fantasy camp?
So you get to play... And everyone there is like, can we make a video together? I'm like, together. I'm like, well, you know, yeah, it's kind of got to, like this guy. This guy's a cop, retired cop. He's like, I want to make a video. And I thought he would talk. He just stands there. And
he's staring at the camera?
He's staring at me. He's just staring at the camera with his mug. He's like, you're going to make me famous. Today was our first scrimmage game.
You're a much nicer person than I am to have done this, by the way.
Oh, no, I loved it. You talking about the video or this in general?
These videos with these fans.
Right. The only one I really wanted to make was at the end of each day, which really...
What are you doing? Start from the beginning.
You show up.
Start from the beginning, yeah.
You show up. You got to like baseball.
A lot.
Play baseball.
Okay.
Because you play baseball.
Where's fantasy camp?
Port St. Lucie.
Okay.
A lot of teams have them.
Yeah.
So you show up. Most guys are 50s, 60s, 40s.
Oh, they just want to play baseball.
They just want to play baseball. You get a couple guys that are really quiet, and they're really there just to slay everyone. Like they play in their leagues. You know, they're in the corner going, yeah, I can tell you right now, I'm going to lead this week in strikeouts. I'm going to strike out everyone, which is not hard to do because there's a couple like... You know, there may be like a little guy a little off.
Okay.
You know, he's just off, and he come here every year. And then there's three guys in a chair and a crane, and there's like three chicks. There was one. All right, so I'm getting ahead of myself.
How long is
so when you show
camp?
up? It's a week. You show up
a week,
and it's like you're a ball player. You show up in the actual locker room, and you share the locker room with ex-ball players. So next to me, if you're a Mets fan, I had Turk Wendell.
Okay.
Remember Turk Wendell?
Sure, I do.
Guy
I remember Turk.
Guy had a shark tooth and all that jazz.
You know how happy Turk must have been to get you. Fucking, you know how like a Brewer. You know how fucking bummed out the other guys must have been.
Instead of the kid that's a little off.
Yeah, Bob Apodaca has a guy with one leg and a fucking sideways Cincinnati Reds hat.
That's right. There's a lot of
That's right.
And then right behind me is Dwight Gooden. And I'm leaving them. I'm leaving them alone because people are asking, and they're very patient. I gotta say, people would just come up there like, remember in 1999 you were pitching against Griffey and it was June. Yeah, dude, I remember this. So what happens is they start telling you these cool stories. Like Gooden told me, he was so funny. He's going, you know, man, he's got a lot of kids. He's like, yeah, I think he said he had 9 kids.
Holy shit!
If I remember, 9 and 5. I think he said 9.
Nice.
So
That's the average for those people. Athletes, I mean.
So,
how many different mothers?
but one of the coolest things, which is just funny, makes him human.
Yeah.
Now here's Dwight Gooden. I told him, you don't understand. When you pitched, it was like going to watch Tyson fight. People were counting the days. The stadium was always packed. So he said, you know, the only time my kid ever sees me pitch is the old timers game at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
He goes, so this year, I think my 10-year-old went to go, he wanted to start pitching. So we're in the yard, and I'm telling him, like, you know, son, you want to lift your leg higher. And he looks at me and says, Dad, what do you know about pitching? and he goes, I couldn't believe this kid, Jim. I go, no, Dad used to pitch. You mean with the old farts at Yankee Stadium?
Jesus.
And he goes, no, Dad used to pitch. He doesn't realize who his father is. So now they start the first game. And the kid is, you know, he's walking some people, whatever. So Doc he said, I'm losing my mind. Watch, I can tell by his mechanics. So I can't help it. I pull him aside. I'm like, listen, when you're doing this, you want your shoulder. He goes, Dad, the coach told me how to throw the ball. I think the coach knows what he's talking about. So, I mean, just the humanity of that. I was howling at that. And then we talked about how they used to fight because the Mets hated the rest of the league and the league hated them. And Turk Wendell never drank, never smoked, did anything in his life. I thought he was I thought he was ape shit nuts. Nothing. But he used to have this routine. When he'd get on the mound, he'd look at the outfield, and he'd give this weird stare at the outfield before he'd pitch the ball, and he'd wind his arm up. And I thought, this guy came up, he's like, what's the routine? Why would you stare at the thing? Is that like a superstitious thing? And he goes, no, I was just making sure the field was ready. He goes, one game I pitched and the field wasn't ready, and the center fielder yelled at me, so I always make sure the field is ready before I throw the ball. Because all these years you thought I was superstitious, just staring at the outfield? No. So you're like, so you hang out with the guys, and then you pitch. Now you have games, and then the games lead to the two best teams, and then the two best teams play in the championship, and then my team made it to the championship, but we lost.
What other players are down there from the old days?
Gooden's a great one.
Gooden's a great one.
Of course, that's
Turk Wendell's a great one. I mean, he was
I love Turk Wendell. Edgardo Alfonso.
Yeah, another big one.
any like
Felix Mian.
I was going to ask any real old timers.
John Stearns, Ron Swoboda.
What about Grody?
Oh my God.
Or Rusty Staub?
Grody wasn't there, and I heard some things
About Grody?
Jerry Grody.
What's the thing?
I'm just saying, like, he hasn't been there, and there's this weird silence where you're like, where's Jerry Grody? Okay.
What's that about?
Never mind. I guess, okay. I was dying to see Jerry Grody.
What did Grody do? What are you hearing?
I don't know.
What's the word on the street with Jerry Grody?
He wasn't a tremendous, he wasn't very engaging. Okay. Let's just say that.
Right.
He wasn't very engaging.
Maybe
So
invite him back.
The camp wasn't his thing.
Okay.
From what I hear, like, he would be...
Probably punch the kid or something.
No, from what I hear, he'd be... The game be playing because they're your coaches, and he'd be on the phone.
Yeah.
And just be gone the whole time. And they're like, Jerry, should we... Yeah. Make your own lineup.
Wow.
Yeah,
he didn't take it too seriously.
Yeah, you don't have to take it seriously. And that's another thing. They bust your... The best part of that was at nighttime, the dinners. Oh, do you remember... oh, God, what's there? Remember Anthony Young?
I do
Butch
not.
Husky?
Butch Husky.
Sure. That is.
Butch Husky.
Anthony Young.
Anthony Young was the guy who pitched like 24 straight games and lost. He like broke a record for...
Jeez, I don't remember.
But all his games he lost was like 2-0, 1-0.
Okay. Anthony Young, there he is. I sort of remember his face now that I'm looking at him.
All I'm going to tell you is I'm very uncomfortable in the shower with that guy. Very uncomfortable.
Wow.
You guys all shower together?
Very uncomfortable.
Yeah, stirred up a few feelings.
And I literally waited. That's frightening. That's
Really?
frightening that women can handle something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Absolutely frightening.
So wait, the same
think
players stay the whole week?
Same players stay the whole week, and usually by day 2, half the camp is gone because they can't. They're injured. They're done.
They leave. They don't just stay.
Well, some they'll stay, but some
not
of them
participating
rip their
anymore.
Achilles. They pull their hamstrings.
They get really hurt.
You rip your rotator because these guys, like, I haven't played baseball since junior high school, so I literally started training in October. I literally got a trainer, weights and all that jazz, and these guys show up and they're playing like they're in the World Series. They haven't sprinted, let alone jog to first base
in years.
In years, and by the second time they're doing it, they're being taken out by a stretcher.
So wait a minute, where are you staying? You get in there. What time do you get in? What time do you get up every day? I wouldn't enjoy fantasy camp because
No, you would. Well, every day you got to be there by 8:00. It opens up at 7.
Well, you got to
breakfast.
be there. You have breakfast at 7. What the fuck?
7:15, like 8:15. There's team meetings at 8:30.
Team meetings.
10 o'clock. You're playing your first game, and then there's a lunch, and then the afternoon is your second game, and there's double headers all week, and then the end you play the campers. There's a story. Remember Hojo?
Sure.
So there's this guy, this is a camper, has been going at 12 years, strikes out Hojo. Struck him out. So all the Mets are just railing him. You struck out to a camper, blah, blah, blah. This guy's a great pitcher right there.
Okay.
Who's that guy?
Is he just?
He was on my team.
Is he a fantasy guy?
Yeah, he was on my team. That guy.
All right.
Oh.
So Hojo waits a whole year, and he wasn't going to come to camp. He comes to camp because he realized this guy was coming back.
Yeah.
He waited the whole year just so he could face that pitcher again. And the first pitch he hit over the center field wall. So that's how pissed he was from striking out a year before from one of the campers.
But how old is Hojo at this point?
You know what? He's like maybe my size. There was an '86 Mets reunion, and I saw him. I don't know. He's like in his maybe late 50s, 60s.
Yeah, okay, that's funny.
So you're up and you're playing. The camp goes until what time? What time is the game over?
You're pretty much done at 3, 4 o'clock, and then you get ready for dinner, and they have banquets at night.
Oh, okay. So
it's a lot of ball busting. They have a night where they call the kangaroo court, and basically what they've been doing. They have people on every field watching what you're doing and videotaping. So, and then they call you out in front of everyone.
That's great.
And that was hilarious.
That's funny.
I think the name for the segment would be Just Joshin'.
And so that's the deal. And then you
got to really love baseball.
You got to love baseball. And if you like the Mets or whatever team you like, it's pretty freaking. So I loved it. I have been, I won't say traumatized, but when I was in junior high, there was a couple kids that sprouted a lot quicker than me, and in high school, and I didn't make the team, and I was afraid. I made the team, but I didn't make first string, and I was afraid of the ball. So when I played first base and when it bounced, I would turn my head.
Yes.
I was petrified of the ball, and I was also petrified of fast pitching.
Yeah, me too. How fast did he pitch? That was the first question I would always ask when the pitcher was out there.
I think the fastest pitch was in the 60s, maybe 70s. That was the championship pitcher. This guy, I wanted his birth certificate checked because you have to be 30. But he was throwing heat and curveballs and all this.
Wow.
But everyone else is like 50. It's it's like playing wiffle ball with a hard ball. Right. I mean, the guy in the mound is 60 years old trying to strike me out. I'm drilling the ball. It's awesome.
Do they move the bases in, or is it?
No. You're playing. Let me tell you something.
You're playing on a major league field.
You hit a ground ball, and it takes 20 minutes to get to first.
Oh fuck!
How about the mound? The mound is proper length.
I wanted to pitch, but my arm was demolished before I even showed up.
Yeah, I would have no shot at pitching.
I loved it though, man. I freaking.
Are you going to go every year?
Oh hell yeah!
How many guys in the outfield?
It's regular baseball.
It's regulation. I thought maybe
3 guys.
put 10 guys out there.
No.
How many are at the fantasy camp?
It's probably about 100. It's probably 100. It's
in
maybe
the locker room at the
12,
same time?
13. Yeah.
And do the outfielders move way in?
For certain players, yeah.
Way the fuck in?
Way in for certain players. But there was...
And everyone's getting nude in the showers?
Not everyone.
Well, you have to shower. Why would that be any different?
I would fucking go... I'd wait till I get back to the hotel. Fuck that.
Really? One day
Why?
I took a shower in there.
I don't feel like
and I'm still traumatized.
I don't feel like pulling my hog out in front of others.
Just showering?
And then you got Anthony Young with his big, giant
Holy
dick.
crow. That thing was... I thought I was going to call a reptile service. I thought something escaped.
Yeah, just showers. Yeah.
I could do it, but I mean, if I have a little downtime, I'd go back to the hotel probably.
99 point. That's what I did.
Yeah,
I would do that.
Just to relax a little more.
But they got me good.
Maybe take a bath.
There was
soak
a night.
A little bit.
Wow, light some candles and
I like baths.
You read a book.
I have no problem admitting I like a nice bath, a nice soak.
That makes me feel less gay about the things I do.
I like it. The hotter, the better, and I'll just... Especially if you're at fantasy camp, you're going to want to soak out some of those injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. And I tell you what, there was a night when we go out, and everyone hangs out. The ball players hang out with the campers, and you're drinking and hanging out.
That's probably part of it too. Though, like you can't just leave and go to the hotel.
God.
You got to be a part of it. So the players don't just fucking leave the fantasy campers by themselves.
Any ex-players have a bit of a problem at the bar? Where you're like,
no,
boy,
I can
this guy's
honestly
doing shots with everybody.
No, I can honestly say no. However, ball players, even ex-ball players.
Yeah.
I saw Butch Husky there and Anthony Young.
Sure.
First of all, they're like 6'7". They walk in a bar, and it's literally like lions walking in the Serengeti just staring at the wounded impala and just waiting to snag him up by the neck as they pull him away in their little paws. Or just trying to escape. They literally just making signal, and it just. They walk in, they size up the room, and they zone in, and boom.
Did any of the 86 players break out 8 balls?
No, I always say Dwight was in bed early every night.
They loved their Coke back then.
I went to
86 team loved
Yeah, they were
Coke.
very naughty.
I went to the 86 reunion. They had something on Long Island.
Nice.
Out of all the guys there, oh no.
Darryl Strawberry.
Yeah, Sewell Strawberry. Yeah.
Dude, that's going to be 30 years.
I'm trying to remember the guy.
That's going to be 30 years.
It is 30 years.
Well, yeah,
Mookie
later
Wilson.
on.
No, Kevin Elster.
Kevin Elster. That's a name I haven't thought of in
Elster was hammered. He was so funny because they're just trying. He's sitting next to Strawberry and Kevin Mitchell.
Sure.
And you can tell, like, Strawberry's, like, he's sober now and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Kevin Elster's sitting there smoking a cigarette indoors, hammered, just telling all the stories this guy
The
would
real
bring
story.
in
Yeah.
7 whores, we're doing lines. Let me tell you something, one time, and they're all trying to shush him. He was great. He was great.
It's like, shut the fuck
Kevin
up.
Elster was hilarious.
That's
and
great.
And they're all into, like, they don't mind taking pictures.
No.
Or you're hanging out with. That's kind of fun, man. If you're a huge fan,
Well, if you're a big fan of the Mets,
the 7 a.m. thing would stink, but
sounds great.
But any team, I think the Red Sox have it, the Yankees have it, but I hear the Yankees aren't engaging. Like that's what I heard. Like you go there, but they're not having the banquets at night. They're not.
Okay.
But I don't know that for a fact.
Oh.
I just know there's some guys who are at the camp that've been to every camp.
really,
How long did it take you to get over the loss, the World Series loss?
I got over right away.
I was thinking about you, and then you got to. Now it's got to be exhausting because now you got to start all over again.
I'm ready
as a fan. Holy,
I'm ready.
Fuck, you're this close,
Dude.
and
I try to explain to you how exciting this team is.
I know. I started watching near the end. I'll watch more games this year because of you.
The 4 Horsemen. The 4 Horsemen kicking Metallica, Harvey DeGrom, Mats Syndergaard. And then you got the 5th Horseman waiting, galloping in the wings in Wheeler. This is a hot team. And I tell you what.
Give me that speech. I'll definitely be watching more this year.
I tell you what, the Yankees are hot too.
Yeah.
The Yankees are silent, but they're frightening. They're silent and frightening.
I want to go to a game this year. I keep saying I'm going to, but I want to see the new Yankee Stadium. I want to go and
You
just
haven't gone yet.
root for my team.
You hate sports, right?
No,
you're a football guy. You like the Cowboys.
Yeah, but I don't really watch, and I really don't watch baseball anymore. But I would go. I mean, I do want to go. I've heard the stadium's great, and I want to go with
It's
someone to
awesome.
a game.
The stadium.
I want to bring you to a Met game. I want you to see
that
this
game, City Field. Yeah,
I want you to see
this.
the Syndergaard and Harvey pitch.
I would go.
Hey, this all started with that video. Now can we see the video?
What video?
Where you were making videos every day at fantasy camp.
The last one. The last one was
Where you were cheering when
we
OJ
lost.
was
I want
acquitted.
the one where the guy wanted to make the video and didn't say anything.
Yeah, that was Bob,
Let's see-
ex-cop.
Let's see Bob's video.
There's 3 of them, and I people are like, give us updates.
Right.
It's like, all right, I ain't gonna be
Actually,
update.
before we get to that, I'm sorry. We found a different OJ reaction video.
What do you mean?
There's
Really?
a different. Yeah, it might be worth playing.
All right, let me see this.
Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. So that's when the reaction.
Oh, they put Brewer in the middle. Like he's cheering OJ's acquittal. See that, Jim? They're making it look like you're acquitting the murderer. You're cheering the acquittal of the
Hey, I've
murderer.
been framed.
That's pretty good, man. All right, we'll tweet that out.
I tell you what, man, those crazy videos.
Yeah.
People showing up at all the shows with Met hats and
Dude,
I
they-
did Washington.
I hope to God it will torture you to madness.
I will ride that wave, Jimbo.
Yeah, you should, man. You're getting 1 million views a video.
They were
Freaking,
they were fucking viral. These damn things, one
Yeah.
after another.
It was
on your
nuts, though.
on your Facebook.
It was nuts.
Let me hear this from Fantasy Camp.
This is when we just lost.
Anyone says this is the greatest team ever, right here.
Look at my arm.
What, baby?
It looks like Jim stopped at a hospital and gave everybody Met uniforms.
Is that it?
No, it goes on. And I'll show you the picture that beat us.
Do you travel with your uniforms, or are they waiting for you when you get there?
No, it's all there.
Oh,
it's
your
all there.
sizes and all that.
Yeah. They get you just sizes show up. They hang up everything. And
I like my T-shirt washed before I wear it, though. I don't like to wear an unwashed T-shirt.
They'll wash it for you.
I appreciate that.
They wash it every
I have
day
very
for you.
gentle skin.
You would like the training room.
Why?
You go in there, pretend you got an injury, and you got males and you got females, you got males,
And they rub you out.
and whatever you
Nice
need
rub
in there.
down.
Whatever you need in there.
they
They
pretty?
got everything. Yeah.
Nice. What if you pull your groin?
And they got to help pull it back.
They'll probably stick fucking, some guy. Oh, that's Henry Oakes. It's some guy with a weird OCHS name. He's 68. Been with the team since 52. Fucking puts 2 fingers in your asshole and it's totally non-sexual and he's comfortable doing it. He's one of those guys that could just massage a man anywhere and feel nothing. Because those guys, those sports, those team doctors, they don't give a fuck. I mean, all they do is massage men and they're used to it.
Yeah,
They'll rub anything out for you.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
I think some of the campers, too, were just like, look, they got if I heard this one more time, they got a hot tub in there, and they got a cold tub, too. You're going to do the hot tub. I just can't do hot tubs with, like, grown men. It's just, I don't.
I wouldn't mind in a sporting. Normally I wouldn't, but with a buddy I could. I could sit in a hot tub. with a
Yeah,
friend.
no, I can. It's late at night in Colorado.
Yeah, a little man-to-man comparing.
You're at fantasy camp. You guys should all be bonding in the hot tub.
Yeah, some of them nuts are hanging really low. They're hanging on top of the water.
Let me see the rest of this video.
Watching us, Jimmy.
That's right.
We have no shame.
That's right. We try to keep our spirits up. See, we got a little chick on the team.
Let's go. Let's go. Pitching.
All right, now I'm going to show you the other team who won.
I'll play with you guys.
And there's this one pitcher. He's like in his 30s. This guy's throwing rockets. It's a pain in the ass. This guy was a pain in the ass. But look at the age, like this is. You see the ages? These aren't kids you're losing against.
No kidding.
So if you think you can't hit or whatever, this guy. I want his birth certificate. Right there.
Wow, he looks like a younger kid. He doesn't look 30.
Yeah, very suspect. Very suspect.
He was throwing hard, huh?
He was throwing hard. Even, what's sad when you see, and some of the guys on our team were a little like, dude, that ain't right. We had a chick on our team, a mom.
Sorry,
that's all right. She's maybe 5'3".
Okay,
and she's probably in her mid-50s, and he's just throwing heat. I think one of them decked her. She had a deck out of the, and our guy's like, come on, man, seriously, you trying to strike the chick out? She has a pinch runner every time up.
Does she?
We just hope she'd walk every time. She made contact every time. And
were you bummed when you got the chick?
No, everyone. No, not at all. Matter of fact, she was huge on our team. She got to walk almost every time or a hit. Because everyone play in, and then she had a pinch runner. Yeah. So we put a fast guy in.
All right, fair enough.
But look at that! Look at him, Mark. He's actually come to see me in Maryland.
Was he taking it easy on her when he pitched?
No.
That's great.
And you can tell he pitches in a league. He's got the whole the guy on the Dodgers, that lefty.
Oh God. Hideki Matsui.
you were going to say so. But yeah, he's kid's a monster. He's a monster.
Play the rest of this.
And he also hit it to the fence.
We didn't win, but
that's right. We played good.
Man, Brewer really likes doing this.
I love it.
Was this your first time?
Obvious.
Huh? First time?
Yeah.
What do you do if there's a rain out? If it's a rainy week?
We had a rain out. We had to play 2 triple headers.
Triple headers?
The second triple header, I pulled my oblique. I pulled a groin. My hand was killing me from hitting a ball. It was a mess.
How many games you end up playing in a week?
You usually play about 10. I think we only played 6. We played 2 days of triple headers. Because we had the blizzard. The blizzard knocked out 2-3 days, and then rain knocked out 2 days.
What do you do during the day? Meaning when there's no game,
Go see movies and stuff, or hang out with the players will call you. I'm like, hey, man, you want to go somewhere?
Hi, Doc, you want to get some popcorn? Oh, the fucking players must hate that. Everyone's knocking on their door. Doc, you want to go down for pancakes?
You want to go? Let's play ping pong.
Yeah,
in the
come on
lobby.
down. Give me some tips.
So you had a shitty week of weather.
Yeah, but I didn't care.
Didn't matter.
I didn't care.
That's how much Brewer loves the Mets.
I don't.
We're back with more of the best of Opie and Jimmy.
William H. Macy.
Don't get up.
Hello.
This is Henry Winkler.
How are you, man? Good to see you.
That must be the very fun part of being famous, is that you see people who you like or who you
It's wicked cool.
admire, and they know who you are, and they actually like your work, or you get to work with them.
I know. I'm still sort of gobsmacked when I run into celebrities, too.
Who is somebody that you wanted to work with, or like an idol that you got to, like, that kind of floored you a little bit?
John Travolta. It was, you become used to the fact that you're working with him, and then you keep being reminded, it's John Travolta, man. It's, great story. We were doing Wild Hogs together, and we were out in the country in New Mexico, and there was a farm, and we were doing road work, and there was this big farm, and I went down because there was a big dairy barn, and I grew up in Western Maryland, and I just have an affinity for barns. And I went down there, and John followed me. So we walk into this giant dairy barn, and there's the dairy farmer there, and he looks up and he goes, hey. And I go, yeah, we're shooting up there on the road. And he was so cool, the fact that out in the middle of New Mexico, John Travolta walked into his barn.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't see him do it. Pretty soon the wife and the daughters start showing up, and they just couldn't believe it. Here's John Travolta in their barn.
In their barn.
Well, you're in one of the greatest films of all time. I can never stop talking about Boogie. You play a great guy in distress.
Yeah.
Like, you really do play like a great guy with problems.
Yeah.
Boogie Nights and...
Fargo.
Fargo. You play somebody who really has a lot of shit.
Cooler.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
beat's
my
working.
God, The Cooler.
I love The Cooler.
One of my favorite movies
Yeah.
of all time.
Absolutely.
So underrated.
I don't know. I guess after Fargo, I was worried that that's all I would get to play, and it hasn't been. I've gotten to play a bunch of different roles, but that does seem to be something that I do well.
Yeah. What's hard for you to play?
I guess I'd really like to be powerfully evil someday. I'd like to try that. I've never gotten to do that.
Like a Bond villain?
Yes. I had this theory that a lot of times when you get to the really hateful people, the racist, the Nazi, the whatever, that a lot of times they're not as terrifying as they could be, because actors and probably writers and directors too have a tendency to put quotes around what they do. I'm not really a racist.
Right.
I'm just playing a role. I think it would be much more horrifying if you spent some time understanding that point of view and presented it well, and presented it so that it puts people on their back feet a little bit. And I'd like to try that someday.
Who do you think has played that role in that way? Or
Particularly
come,
well?
Yeah, or come closest, I guess, to your vision.
Nothing comes to mind, which is perhaps why I'd like to try it.
You know what was a great example of a guy playing a really unpredictable psychopath, but was in 12 Years a Slave, William Fassbender. What's his first name? Fassbender? Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender.
He played,
That's a good point. That's good.
He played this brutal slave owner who had this real sexual thing with one of the slave, and it was like you see this. You understand he's a conflicted person, but he's also a really horrible. He was very frightening to me because he seemed like a real guy.
Yeah, that's the thing. Make him a real guy. Then you learn something about the face of evil. It's the banality of it.
The fact that, this is a person, I've seen before, I've spoken to before.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to play an evil character?
Yeah, I'd like to try that.
I think you'd be great at it.
Yeah.
I think everybody wants to play. It seems like it's fun to play someone evil as opposed to someone nice, right?
Or bad, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Shameless is all about.
Of course it is.
It's great fun.
Where are we at with Shameless? Another great season, obviously. Frank Gallagher.
What is this for? How many seasons is this now?
This is 6 is airing
6.
right now, and we got picked up. We're going back, and
How many more you think?
there'll be 7 more.
7 more seasons?
I'm announcing that today.
So you're going up to 13?
I'm also building a house. that might have something to do with my announcement.
I don't know if Frank Gallagher could last 7 more seasons.
I know. I don't know if I've only got half a liver as it is. I don't know. The writers keep bringing it. That's the test. We can act it all the live long day if they can keep writing it.
And you'd probably rather the show go away before the public decides it's time.
Yeah, that's one of
You're not at that point, by the way. Shameless is absolutely not at that point.
I agree.
It's still killing it.
But when you're in a success, a lot of times it goes a year or two after its expiration date. And those are rough years. And all you have to show for it is lots and lots of money.
Yeah.
Right. They. What do you think happens? Do the guys get sick of playing the characters, or is it a combination of that and the writing? They don't know where else to go.
I think it has to do with the writing. I think it has to do with the story just runs out. You've explored all the possibilities. There's nothing, jumping the shark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we asked him about that once.
Who do you
Why
think?
would I say that?
It's got to be tough to hang in there for another season when you know it's kind of finished, but there is a nice paycheck, and you're like, I got some time in between another movie coming up.
Yeah. It's the converse of that is when the writing is inspired. Boy, it's a joy to go to work. There's not much an actor can do. It all begins and ends really on the page.
Yeah.
I've always thought the Academy Award should be, and the best written role goes to.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's some great actors who it's just not as good a movie, or it's not as accessible to people.
You have an awesome cameo. It's not even a cameo. An awesome role in Room, which is about that girl who's in captivity and she has a son, and they wind up, and you play the girl's father, and just the trouble you have looking at her son because it reminds you of what happened. Really, just an awesome, uncomfortable role.
Yeah, I'm glad I did that. It fell into that category of what could I do in my hiatus, and I love that script, and I've been a fan of Brie Larson for a long, long time, and I talked to Lenny, the director, and he said all the right things. I wish I was in it more. I shot about 5 scenes, and 3 of them made it in, but it had impact. It certainly had impact.
Yeah, your role, I thought, was the most uncomfortable thing in the entire film. Besides the fact they were kidnapping, he was raping her, that goes without saying, but the way you reacted, it was like, ugh.
I know, to disavow your own grandson because you can't look at him.
Yeah, but you didn't say, it was just not looking at him. It wasn't like you said it or you said some over-the-top thing, which is why I would have ruined that role, because I would have went, no, and I would have spoiled it.
You would have made it very obvious, Jimmy?
Yeah, but with you, it was just quiet and subtle.
Well, and it was a lovely piece of writing, too. I didn't make that up.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask you about, so Frank Gallagher, is, he's not really for the establishment, but who would Frank Gallagher vote for in this election that is unfolding in our eyes if he had to?
Yeah. I don't think it's Trump. He's such a contrarian. He'd probably end up voting for Bernie or Hillary just to piss off his friends.
There you go. That's a good answer.
Do you ride motorcycles since Wild Hogs? Was it what it called? Wild Hogs?
Wild Hogs, yeah.
Okay,
I do.
So. I don't want to fuck that up.
Got a little Triumph that I ride around town.
Yeah.
And
is the Triumph the one with the 3 wheels?
No.
That's not, okay, all right.
Oh, please.
Come on, how could you ask that?
Yeah. 3 wheels.
It looks like an old Bonneville, And,
okay.
in The Great Escape, when he hopped over the fence, that was a Bonneville. This is a remake of that. It looks like a vintage bike, but it's about 800 cc's. If you dropped it, you could pick it up, and it's great to be around town. I also have a Harley Softail Classic, and that's a lot of motorcycle. That's 1,000 pounds worth of motorcycle.
But no 3-wheelers. I saw one on the highway yesterday.
Bizarre, aren't they?
They are strange. I'm trying to figure it out.
I know, and I think you don't have to have a motorcycle license to ride one of those things.
It makes sense. It's I don't know.
Not a lot of sense. You could kill yourself just as fast on that.
I guess.
But just coming around the turns is probably a little bit easier on 3 wheels.
I guess.
Or do you think it would flip easier?
I've never been on one. I don't know.
Have you fallen off your motorcycle?
No, knocking wood. No.
Okay.
No. I dropped it once or twice, which is humiliating, but
in front of people?
I tell you what, I took a big trip. I went from L.A. up into Montana, Wyoming, and I ended up at a dude ranch where Felicity and the girls were, and I stayed with them for a while and then went on to Aspen, Colorado, where we have a home. At any rate, for the first time, 10, 12 years of riding, I got caught in the rain, and it is miserable. And I had a good rain suit, but I didn't think about my feet, and I had them up in front of me. I could feel my boots filling with water, and it was cold, and my gloves got soaked. At any rate, I stopped at a coffee shop, thought I'd wait out the rain. That wasn't going to work, but I drank 9 gallons of coffee, so I get on the freeway. I gave up the sexy motorcycle roads. I'm trying to get where I'm going, and I had to pee like a racehorse, so I pulled over on the interstate. It was flat land. I couldn't find any place where no one could not see me, so I finally found a place. I went down there. As I'm coming back up, a gust of wind, and here comes my bike. It fell towards me, and I broke the fall of the thing, but down it went. I couldn't pick it up. I'm on a freeway in the middle of nowhere, and the cars are zooming past, and it's pissing rain. I finally got my hands free so I could do this gesture of, are you joking? No one's going to stop? Do you see what's happening? And this guy in a truck. And by this time, I was freezing cold. When my bike fell, I took off my helmet. I was sweating bullets, and my helmet rolled down the hill and into the creek. Yes.
Did the guy know who you were when he stopped?
He did not. He did not. He and his wife said, we ride. I know just what happened. Hold on. And his wife said, here, honey. And she went down into the creek and got my soaking wet helmet from the creek. Okay, here's the end of the story. I'm minutes from the hotel where I'm going, where there is a massage waiting, and my map has gotten wet, and I can't read the last 3 directions. So I'm in some little town, and I'm lost. I stopped at a service station, and she took one look at me. She said, oh, honey, you're really close. It'll be okay. So I get there. I'm unpacking the bike, and there's a wedding party, and all these little kids, and they recognize me. So they all want to get their picture. And I saw this woman sort of wandering around, and at a point, when I'm taking pictures and trying not to lose my temper because I just wanted a bath and my massage, which I missed, and this woman, at a point, gets herself between me and all the kids and goes, hey, and lifts up her shirt.
For the picture?
Yeah, no, just shows me her, and they were
nice.
Pulitzer Prize winners, man. And then goes, he, and runs away. I go, thank you. You lifted this day wonderfully.
Yeah, you kind of needed that.
That's a nice end to a trip.
That's a wonderful end.
And right now, those people, by the way, that couple probably will turn on TV and they'll see something like Shameless. But doesn't it look like that idiot who fell off his motorcycle? He reminds me of that guy.
No idea.
I know someone that's stupid.
Right.
You in Colorado, do you ski? What do you do when you're out there?
We ski. I'm a bit of a carpenter. I have a real nice shop and make things.
What do you like to make?
You name it. I've made some good furniture, heirloom stuff, and but I fix things. I built a bridge at my house, made a mantle for over my fireplace.
Nice.
You name it.
Is that something you picked up like recently, or were you always doing that? And that was like the first option, and then acting kind of worked.
I actually supported myself doing light carpentry for people in the beginning of my career. But my dad was very handy, and you would think it's soothing and comforting. It's not. I lose my temper all the time. I'm the worst carpenter I know.
It's not like painting. Taking up painting, it's relaxing.
This isn't. This is, I'm of the thing. Measure once, cut 4 times, and keep going back to the lumberyard to get more wood.
It's real work.
It's like playing pool. They say, it's it's not relaxing. Because every time I miss, I'm like, you piece of fucking shit. And I feel worse about myself.
Lose your mind.
I know.
So are you good at putting things together? Like if you get something with instructions, I have no knack or patience for doing that. But you can actually sit with an instruction book and go step by step and not go from step 1 to step 5 and then get frustrated?
I do that. If I read the instructions, I can put it together. But I always go, yeah, I get it. And then I screw it up and I have to go back and fix it.
Yeah, there's 16 screws left over.
Yeah.
You think you have it together.
I once did a valve job on my van. That was pretty good.
Did it work, or was there...
It started. I couldn't believe it.
You were surprised.
There weren't that many pieces left over after I put it back
That's
together.
great. That's always a good sign.
It's a nice feeling, like as when you do something, you complete something. I think that's why men like to do that shit, because there's a beginning, middle, and end to it, and you can kind of see the results.
It's true.
I'm not good at it.
It's true. I turn bowls. I've got a big Powermatic lathe. And you can turn a bowl and finish the whole thing in about 2 hours. And so you start with a big block of wood and you have a salad bowl 2 hours later.
You could do that.
I can do that.
That's pretty impressive. Are you into yoga?
I've taken some yoga classes.
No, because I saw a tweet where you like farting in yoga classes or something.
Well,
I was trying to...
we were in Hawaii. Felicity.
We appreciate a good fart story here. I'm bringing this up with Willie H. Macy. I can't believe it. But.
Oh, man. Pound for pound, there's nothing funnier on earth than a fart.
Always.
Fart. You're my favorite actor. You always were, but now you definitely...
Flickr kept saying, we have to take yoga. At our age, we have to start yoga. And I loathe I don't like to be still and think and feel things. I'm Lutheran. I don't like that stuff. Anyway, I go to this yoga class in Hawaii. We were on vacation, and some of the finest looking women, about 20 of them, and I get in there and I think, whoa, Lord, and yoga clothes are
ridiculous.
Good, really.
Yes.
And I don't know who it was, but someone let out a good C sharp, and it went on for about 10 seconds in this dead quiet room filled with beautiful women. And I started laughing. And you have to breathe. So all my breathing was... I laughed for an hour because no one ever claimed it. No one...
So you think it was a woman who did it?
Well, there were only women. I didn't
Nice.
part, and I was the only guy there.
But everyone thought you did. You
Of
do
course
know
they
that.
did. Yes.
Was your wife like, come on,
She did.
You're
she
a grown
missed
man.
it.
You shouldn't be
She
laughing at
missed
that.
it. I said, how could you miss that? You could have heard this.
How did she miss
But
it?
she was in the class and she didn't even hear it.
Yeah.
That means she's doing yoga
Yeah,
properly.
she's in her zone.
Yes, that's what that's all about.
You like yoga clothes. Do you mean on women? You like how they look?
Oh, man.
That's amazing,
It's the
right?
greatest.
Yeah, there's a yoga class near my house, and I love to be outside when they're all going to that.
Yeah,
Just happened to be
camel toe.
He just happened to be outside.
Yeah, did I get too specific there? But yeah,
It was a bit much.
He knows when the classes are letting out. That's wonderful.
he just stands on the porch drinking coffee, watching
Yeah.
everybody walk out in their yoga pants.
He's like, I just, anybody need a salad bowl? I just made one.
I was doing some research on you, and you did a movie called Rudderless, which I did not see, I'll be honest with you, but the synopsis sounds fascinating. And the concept where all parents are just, in the end, you think you're doing the right thing and trying to raise your kids properly, and in the end, you're just rudderless and hoping for the best when you finally say you're on your own.
It's the first film I ever directed, mostly. It's the first feature I did. There
Yeah.
it is. Billy Crudup stars. It's about school shootings.
Right.
And the big question is, what must that be like to get that phone call? And there is if I do say so, a pretty stunning middle of the script turnaround. And I was pretty proud of that film.
I'm definitely going to check it out. I just read about it last night.
Oh, Billy's great. Anton Yelchin is in it. Felicity is in it.
Yeah.
She's stunning, too.
Absolutely. Do you like directing?
I do. Sunday, I'm going to do my third film. It's called Crystal. I'm going to Atlanta, Georgia, and here I go again, off to the races.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I think being president of the United States is a harder job. I can't think of any others.
Mm-hmm.
When you're directing, is there a temptation like you want to put yourself in the movie, or when you're acting, don't you want to like just tell the director sometimes like you don't know what the fuck you're doing, like?
To the first, no. Acting and directing at the same time sucks hippo dick, and it's awful. I was in Rudderless for a nanosecond. I wasn't in the second one, which is called The Layover. It's not out yet. I just finished the color mix on it. But I will act in the next one. It's called Crystal with Felicity. We play husband and wife, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I directed a Shameless one time,
Right.
and normally you either act well or direct well, but not both. But in Shameless, I managed to do both badly in my episode.
Oh, it messed you up having to actually direct yourself?
I don't have a big enough brain to do both. It's hard to act well. But I think what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to be so exquisitely prepared to act. Also, I have a great producer, Rachel Winter, who's been my partner in this thing, and she'll sort of take over the 4 scenes that I have to do.
Are certain guys harder to direct, like because of who they are? Like certain actors, are directors intimidated by working with certain guys?
I'm sure. I'm not an experienced enough director to know, but some actors are really tough. They show up with an edge, and I think it comes from fear, certainly. Past abuses by other directors. I tell you, one of the things I learned about directing is I'm a lot more forgiving of directors now. I like to be part of the solution. If the director is not quite clear what he or she is doing, I like to offer up solutions in a way that he or she can take it or leave it, and I want to help.
You want to be a helper.
What's something that would indicate a director doesn't know what they're doing? Like, or that you've seen that you're like, ugh.
Well, job number one is generalship. It's more like the Normandy invasion than making art. The popular illusion is that you sit around and you talk about the character and acting and truth. And the reality is you have 12 hours to get 14 hours of film in the can. That's what you're doing. So a bad director is one who is a bad general, doesn't know how to prioritize. This is an important scene. We'll go a little over. This is not an important scene. It's when you get to the 13th, 14th hour and you're chasing the sun and the most important scene in the movie has been shortchanged. That's bad leadership.
Okay.
Do you feel like the actors are intimidated by you when you're directing because of who you are?
I really hope so. I think being in the tribe, I can do things that other directors can't. It's not unusual to see the lighting guys come in and they're moving the lights and you go, what's going on? What's going on? Well, he's out of his light a little bit. And I said, no, leave the lights there. And I go to the actor and say, get in the light, man. What's the matter with you? You want to be in the movie? Get in your light. You know, the sound man keeps going and I say, what's going on? And he says, well, I can't really hear him. And I say, speak the fuck up. Why would you come all the way here if you don't want to be heard? Speak up.
I looked up hippo dick while you guys were asking those questions.
Yes.
And boy, it has to suck hippo dick.
Yeah, just Google delicious.
I had to understand hippo dick when he said it sucks hippo dick. And it looks like an old tree branch.
It's not something you want to do.
It's not pretty. No. Wow. That is a problem.
That's kind of what a hippo should be packing, though. By the way, I've always meant to ask you, because I've never asked you before, about Boogie Nights. When you said my wife's got an ass in her cock, that was literally just a mistake that they left in?
Yes. You guys do this all day, don't you?
Yeah. I love it, yeah.
Looking up, I wouldn't even think to Google hippo.
No.
I'm sorry about that.
No, I meant asking her because I remember that scene. It was such a cool thing to have in
I did the scene, and Paul sort of giggled, and I said, what? And he said, you said ass in her cock. And I said, oh, sorry. So we did the scene again. I did it right. We did it again. He said, you did it again. I said, no, I didn't. He said, you did. You said ass in her cock. I said, I don't think I did. You can check I don't think I did. At any rate, when the film came out, that's what he used. And it
works.
There's something correct about it, isn't there? There's something psychologically correct.
It works. What is that? Someone's phone going off? Your phone.
I'm humiliated.
Don't be.
We're ending the sixth season of Shameless. The season finale, we got to make sure people know, is April 3rd. So we got two or three left of this season.
Yeah. And there's already another season 7.
Yes.
Yeah, we're coming back.
That's
Boy,
awesome.
those writers are great. This is a good season.
Yes,
too.
it is.
You'll love this.
Yeah.
First script. In season 5, I met this young woman and Frank fell in love. Actual, real, selfless love, not the narcissistic Frank, the addicted Frank that we know. And she died. So Frank is bereft. And the first episode, I'm at her grave. And it said, quote unquote, he has sex with her grave. No explanation. That's what it says.
Wow.
And I thought, okay. I did it. You have to watch it.
Yeah.
But,
Nice.
I'm from Western Maryland, man. From dairy country. I read these scripts and I go, oh my God, what are you doing to me?
Are you ever shocked like that?
I'm always shocked.
I mean, that one obviously shocked you, but
they always shock me.
They always shock you.
It's I'm like the audience. I'm thinking, stop.
Yeah.
Are you joking?
It's from a nice place. That's why my wife's got a cock in her ass was a hard thing to say. Is mine just kind of flipped the script a little bit.
Yeah. Yes, I guess so.
She was my only on-screen kiss ever was with Nina Hartley.
Really?
It was a short comedy we filmed at the comic strip probably in 2000. And I got to make out with her at the end. She was really lovely.
Oh, man. I love that broad. She is so cool. Smart as a whip.
Fan of her work?
Yes. As a rap gift, she gave everyone her, videos at that point. I got Nina Hartley's Guide to Anal Intercourse.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I did.
And did you peruse it?
I did peruse it. There's a lot to learn.
I was going to ask you if you learned a thing or two.
Yeah.
Yeah, there certainly is. She's very open. I was afraid that I'd never kissed. Your first kiss on screen, again, there's only been one for me, but it's very nerve-wracking because you don't know how to touch the act. Like, I was afraid of being disrespectful. Like, if I touched her breast, she would get angry, and she was awesome. It's a scary thing, though.
It is. It's not comfortable.
Do you use tongue when you kiss?
No.
You don't?
Well, not on purpose. It's a very bizarre thing. I mean, first of all, they waited until I was 50 years old to ask me to do this stuff. You know, I kept myself in shape all those years, and all I was a doormat for everyone. And then suddenly I'm asked to take off my clothes and do sex scenes.
Yeah, like the scene in the cooler with Maria Bello. You guys, that was pretty much, that was almost like porn.
Yeah.
You guys were full naked, full on. I mean.
Oh, Lord.
Is there rules before you go in? Like you guys talk, like, okay, can I touch you here? I'm just going to go for it. I don't know where this is going because you don't really know going in.
Yeah.
You guys have an agreement going in before?
I do that. I talk about it. It's a lot easier if you just say the unspeakable before you get started. And the other thing is, especially on Shameless, I am a sort of their champion, and I just make sure that the women are comfortable and well taken care of. And I always say, you don't have to fight any battles. You just give me the high sign, and it's over. We'll stop. I'll do your bidding for you. And you know, with Maria, I was off to do that thing, and Felicity pulled me aside, and she said, I don't know if you know this, but every time you talk about these sex scenes, you're going, oh no. And I was just dreading them. And she said, my suggestion is call the director and cut them, or stop saying that and figure out how you're going to do them. And I thought, oh, my God, because she said, you're preparing to fail. That's what you're doing. So I put my acting chops to it. I analyzed those sex scenes the way I would any other scene. What's different at the end of the scene than at the beginning? What transpired? Where's the moment? And Wayne Kramer, who directed the thing, I went through it with him, and to his credit, 2 of the scenes we couldn't figure out what's different. And he cut them. He said they don't have a place in the movie. And the rest of them, there was something to do. And then we, at my behest, we did, you'll pardon the expression, a dry rehearsal the day before, where the DP was there, and Wayne and Maria and me, and we went through every single move, and we knew exactly where the camera was going to be. So we took all the variables out, and it made us braver. And I mean, that scene where it pans down the bed, and my pants are around my ankles, and the only thing between young Will and the rest of the world was Maria's hand. And that was my idea.
Of course it was.
Yeah,
why wouldn't it be?
I would do so many dry rehearsals. No, I don't have the scene right yet. We got to do another 10 times.
What a genius you are, too, to get your wife to actually go, no, really go for it.
Yeah,
sexy. He all shucksed it up at home, and she was like, no, it's okay, go ahead. Really.
She bought into his shucks, you think?
Good for you.
Well, it's weird to be married to an actress. I mean, I've watched her stuff. I actually don't watch it.
Do you get jealous if you see that?
Not jealous, but I don't watch. I don't need to see that.
It's kind of weird.
What are you going to say? Good job, honey. Yeah. I don't want to watch that.
Right. Too believable, right?
Yeah.
All right, but we have to wrap up because the show is ending, and they're saying that he has to go, and our show is over anyway.
Promoting Shameless. I mean, you don't have to promote this show. It's just amazing. Sundays at 9 on Showtime with the finale airing April 3rd. The 6th season of Shameless, and at least another one to come, which is great.
And William H. Macy on Twitter.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you, gentlemen.
man.
This is fun.
You
great meeting you.
You turned me on a hippo dick today, sir.
Yeah, right.
So
That's a Dave Mamet phrase, by the way. It's in a play called A Sermon.
Okay.
A monologue. Very funny.
Well, you had that cameo in House of Games, which was awesome when they rip you off in the bus station.
That's right.
Just wanted to remind him of things he's done. All right.
that's how we wrap up
That's a
our
worthless
interview.
comment I just made.
We're back with more of the best of Opie and Jimmy.
I love this Australian model. She's shaming them to send
Yes.
their dick pictures.
You like that she's doing that?
First, because you can't just send this woman unsolicited dick pictures. Don't be an asshole.
But a lot of people are doing it.
Good, they're stupid. They deserve to get fucking busted. Not if you're having a conversation and it happens, that's one thing. But if you're just sending a pretty model your dick photo, you're a fucking asshole.
But look at her pictures.
She's amazing.
Yeah, wow.
I mean, what are you supposed to do with that picture?
Jerk off to it, say hello to her, and if she ignores you, accept it.
But it seems like she's doing a little of that teasing.
Let her.
On her end.
Then don't follow her.
And then she's surprised that somebody might send a dick picture or
Yes.
two?
Can't just send you dick pictures.
A lot of shaming going on in this world these days.
That's almost accurate
shaming.
because that's invasive shit. To just send your dick picture to a total stranger that you have no rapport with. Like I'm a pervert and I send my dick picture. Believe me, You know, I'm
But you're
happy
not just.
to.
Are you? You're not
No.
randomly sending them.
No, never to a fucking person on Instagram for no reason.
Well, she's dressed in such a way where it's some guys can't take it.
But what do they think? They're going to send a dick pic and she's going to go, I'm getting a plane ticket.
Exactly.
Maybe.
She's got 2 million followers. She's going to look at your idiot. That's almost an aggressive act. Like, here, look at my fucking dick. You're
Right.
just idiots.
But she's saying, "Look at my fucking tits" in that one shot we see here.
Yeah, and you're only seeing them by following her, though. Like, she's not going to someone and going, hey, I'm going to talk to you. Not that guys would mind, but it's like, it's that thinking, like, if she wants to put those pictures up, that's fine. Guys choose to follow her. But then again, I'll say this, she is choosing to accept these private messages. She's fucking up, because on Instagram, you have to, if I want to message Mark and we don't follow each other, I have to send a request.
Right.
So she is, in a way, choosing to accept these. But then again, she doesn't know it's a dick till she opens it.
I think
That's true.
But the other side of it, she's being overly sexual with her pictures too. That's a little strange.
But that's a service she's doing. She's doing a service.
Wow, look
She's
at these-
showing us her great tits. She's wonderful.
Look at the one in the bra.
She's awesome.
Oh, my
Oh
God.
my goodness.
She shouldn't
a lot
be.
more.
30,000 likes. Look at that.
Hot tamale.
How do you not send a dick pic? Look at these
Oh.
pictures.
And that caboose is not too shabby either.
She's making sure she has a lot of cleavage in her shots, a lot of booty
Oh, man.
pics.
She's Australian, you say?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I got a good one. I'd put a shrimp on the Barbie for her.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind going down under the sheets. If you know what I mean.
I love
What kind of
Outback
DMs
Steakhouse.
does she
What?
expect?
I wouldn't mind
Look at
kangaroo
this. Look at
hopping.
the picture of her in the bedroom with the sheet
Oh,
barely
look at that.
covering the naughty parts.
Yeah, she's fucking amazing.
Oh, my Lord.
57,000 likes for that one.
Yeah.
That should have more.
That's what she looks so super sexy. She's fucking hot. But anyone that just randomly sends her a dick picture, you're a dope.
Yeah, it's not the smartest thing in the world. I get that.
And she's
but-
not even asking for that.
Well, I don't know. She's asking for something. Look at these pictures.
But that
My
doesn't.
God, man.
She's
Oh,
really
man.
hot, but the service she's providing is that she's being hot and showing these sexy photos. Jerk off to them. That's fair. She's not trying to catch people jerking off to them. She's not shaming people who might look at them. But
Oh,
if you aggressively contact her when she hasn't said that she wanted contact, you're being a fucking asshole. Now, if you're talking to her and she's like, well, you're talking about it, and she's like, well, I'd love to see your dick, and then she shows it, then she's fucking horrible.
You see the one where she's on all fours, though? What message is she sending there?
Here, smell this, doggy.
And all this time, I just sent her a dick pic.
Right.
Absolutely.
What message is she trying to send?
If you ask her, would you like to see
Basically
my
saying
dick?
this is where the dick goes.
Yeah, she is.
See how much that dog video got compared to the rest of them. How many likes?
15,000 just about.
All right.
15,000 likes.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when you know you're
Now
hot.
go-
Her taking a shit into a frying pan, 400,000 likes.
I'd eat that for dinner.
Here, play one of her videos.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's not talking.
I wouldn't mind. I want to hear her voice, a sexy accent.
To make you rich. I'm addicted to a lot of crazy shit. I feel like money is the best drug.
She's teasing everybody. She's basically saying you can't have this.
And she's right.
But take a nice look at it.
She has that giant white girl, big hips, fucking Iggy Azalea thing, Australia.
God, look at that.
I don't know how I feel about this. I think if it was like kind of a regular girl, it's sort of sexy, but this girl is going over the top with her sexuality.
But she's a model also.
Yeah, that's what she does.
Like it's her job.
She's there to make us feel turned on. Good for her, and it's working.
She's
It's
showing
working.
her legs right now and back up to her face like, you can't have this.
Let me ask you, if she's in public and she's just sexy in the beach, that's like saying you have the right to take your dick out and just show it to her.
Well, the old days, you were able to pinch a hiney or two at work.
That is true.
Uh-huh.
Look at that. Look at that picture of her selfie where she's covering up her nips. Go down.
Oh, my God.
Wonderful.
61,000
She's
likes.
fucking
wow.
incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah, but then there's...
Somebody called her a whore. That's funny.
See, but that's the fucking mentality of certain people.
Yeah, all the comments are crazy.
Whore. Just these fucking... It's like, just admit you like her and you can't have her. None
Right.
of us can have her.
Look
It's
at that
okay. Just jerk off to her. She's wonderful.
That guy wrote in pubic hair. What's that about?
Hebrew.
Oh, it's Hebrew. Oh, sorry.
That's
Sorry
the
about
language of
that.
my people.
I apologize. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
I love these guys. Her body's fake. Fucking assholes.
so what?
That's the mentality of people who are sending their dick. Fucking whore here.
Oh, look at that. That is unreal.
It's fucking one. She's literally.
She's just sticking
the
her
best
hiney
person
out.
I've ever seen. She's the best person I've ever seen.
But she's surprised that people would send dick pictures when she's like overly sexual with these Instagram photos.
Sure. Why should people send their dick pictures?
No, I don't know if you should in the end, but you shouldn't be too surprised by that,
Well, it's
I
like,
guess.
It's like she's surprised that people are saying like she's fake and she's a whore. It's like this weird aggression people get.
Yeah.
It's not an ongoing dialogue with somebody where they're talking dirty and she's like, I'd love to suck your cock, and then he sends it and then she shames him. That's a different thing. That's a different relationship. When you just see a pretty girl and you're like, hey, here, look at my dick. Well, you get what you get. What do you expect her to do?
I think this is more than a pretty girl, though, because she's got a bra and panties on with her ass up in the air, and she's heading toward the bedroom. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, these are crazy photos.
Absolutely.
But
still.
so not sexy. She's heading towards the bedroom. She's in a bra and panties.
But I'm just saying, of course, guys are going to lose it a little bit and send dick pictures, hoping,
of course.
probably a lot of them hoping, like, fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe we could get some kind of relationship going.
Then they're delusional idiots. You know what? Then they're fucking delusional and they fuck it up for the rest of us. Those delusional, dumb motherfuckers who think that just sending a dick picture immediately is the way to do it, you ruin it for the rest of us that have finessed it.
Yeah.
They're rookies, Jimmy.
They're assholes.
Look
Yeah,
at
they
this
are.
one.
Just sending a dick picture to a girl who hasn't, that you haven't even really had an ongoing thing with.
I mean, what is she trying to say with the girl next? That's not a girl next door photo.
To someone she is. She lives next to someone.
True. I mean, true. But
Jesus Christ.
She's amazing. Look at that. She's giving us this.
Yes.
She's showing us these fucking phenomenal photos, and you know how much they cost? Nothing! They cost your cum all over your stomach. Jerk off to your heart's content.
obviously, when I read this story this morning, I didn't go to her Instagram. I mean, she's
the best person I've ever seen.
She's over the top with her sexuality and just fucking smoking hot. I thought it was more of a not an average girl, but a good looking girl that wasn't with most of her clothes off.
Mm-hmm.
These shots are ridiculous. So how's the story go? An Australian model,
What
tired of
story?
seeing her Instagram followers' private parts, has decided to shame the senders by letting their wives and girlfriends know what they were up to online.
Ouch. Damn.
That's not nice.
No.
Emily Sears, a 31-year-old beauty based in Los Angeles, has amassed an audience of more than 2 million people. That's because she's showing a lot of skin through a combination of selfies and shots of her enjoying the high life. However, Sears' snaps have inspired a constant stream of creeps to send in their own pictures of their penises.
Yeah.
I know it's wrong, but I mean,
These guys fuck
her
it up for the
pictures are
rest of
pretty
us.
damn over the fucking top. I usually receive at least 1 or 2 dick pics per day at minimum. Sears has used the conversations ensuing after the unsolicited photos to speak to harassers directly about their loutish behavior.
Loutish, yeah, you're a lout. That was L-O-U-T?
You lout? Yeah, loutish
Oh, I like
behavior.
Lout
Don't
is good.
behave like such a lout.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now she and her DJ friend Laura are giving the exhibitionist men some exposure they may not be comfortable with by finding and contacting their loved ones through social media.
The only reason I agree with it is because it's an unsolicited thing. Like, if you're just sending a dick picture to some girl, you're an asshole. Like, if you're talking and you say it, that's totally different.
Yeah.
100% different.
I agree.
I think she's trying to come up with a bit or something.
Maybe.
I think she probably should just block these fucking people.
That's true, too.
Guys have it all wrong, too, because guys keep sending dick pics to people. Women hate dick pics. Guys should be sending dick pics to people they hate, like Hillary and stuff like that. That's who should get dick pics.
Girls don't like the dick pics in general?
They hate them, usually,
Very
especially
rarely.
unsolicited. So, like, we should be sending to people we don't like, not girls we like.
If they ask, then you send it, or if you talk, if a girl's like, I'd like to see your dick, because there are girls that would love to see
Sure.
it. But if you just show, a lot of girls, for them, it's not about the way your dick looks. It's the way you talk to them, or the way it feels, the way you talk in their ear, or the way you press your dick against them when you're talking to them. It's not just, fucking, let me see your cock. That's
Yeah.
a man thing. We're visual.
Right. It's like showing someone your foot.
That's a good point. The point is not that all men harass women. We realize they don't. The point is that all women have been harassed by men. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never met a woman that hasn't had some fucking piece of shit be unreasonable.
Right.
Not hit on her or just, hey, ask you out. That's not harassment.
Well, but if you're basically saying, here's my cunt, I mean, you got some responsibility in this too, don't you?
No.
None
A
whatsoever.
little bit.
I don't
No,
think she's
none.
saying, here's my
She's
cunt.
flirting pretty heavy.
No, she's not. She's showing her body on Instagram.
She's moving that ass in such a way and sticking it out.
She's a model.
Yeah, that's what she does.
Yeah.
And our part of the arrangement is we look at it, we enjoy it, we jerk off to it. That's it.
Yeah.
And you want to contact her and say you're beautiful.
Then I think she should just block the fucking people.
Yeah.
I think that would be good enough.
Maybe she's sick of getting dick pictures and she's trying to discourage it. Maybe in her thing she should have a warning. If you send pictures of your private pictures, but then again, if she did that, no one would put their real profile.
Leaning on the bed like that.
She's amazing.
She's amazing.
No one's going to argue that point. She is amazing,
and she's sexy, and it's
if
a tease.
If this was more of a regular girl that wasn't showing so much skin, then I would. I don't know.
No, there's no
something
reason for
about
it.
this.
The guy's doing it.
Look at that. I mean, she's naked with just shoes on.
She's a model. What do you want?
That's what she does. The guy's sending pictures of these aggressive fucking frat boy jerk offs.
I think some of them are just losing their minds because they're looking at these pictures.
I mean,
I'm
losing
fucking
mine.
jerk off all over yourself. That's what I have to do. I don't just send a picture to a random stranger.
It's
crazy.
We just love shaming people left and right in this society of ours now.
Yeah, but that's almost like you're trying to be a complete fucking. You're just a basic. That's a very aggressive thing to send your dick to a stranger.
Yeah,
that's a weird thing, dude. That's not. Again, I keep saying it, but that's not open. I'm talking to a girl. We're being very dirty. I send her my dick, and then she outs me. That's fucked up.
Yeah, I hope people understand. I understand that it's bad to just send your dick picture around like that. But man, she's being over the top sexual as well. There's some. I feel there's a little responsibility in.
Well, it's weird that you have to follow someone to get a private message.
Yeah,
so
and then
then
Jimmy
she's
said
following
that-
these dudes.
No, she's not following them.
Oh,
They
I thought
have
you
to
had to
put, no. You
both-
can put in a request. I'll show you what a private Instagram request looks like. I get them all the time. I usually don't accept them if I don't know the person. Once in a while, I do. Let's see. Instagram, I open it up, and in the back, you see 12 message requests. So I'll pop that open, and then let's see. Oh, you actually do see the picture. A lot of times you see the picture. Some of them are nice, but like this person just sent a thing, cryotherapy thing. Boom, like that. But I do see the picture without even accepting the request, and then I decline it. I'll read the message, but they're just basically going, "Here, look at my dick."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't blame her for getting annoyed at that because that's not what if she said send your dick pictures and then she outed people, she's a cunt.
Yeah.
They're 100% wrong and stupid motherfuckers for doing that.
It's just so weird when you see these girls like just over the top with their sexuality, though, with no clothes on whatsoever, and then they're surprised that some guys might take it too far and send a dick pic.
Yeah, those guys.
I think she should just block them and move on.
Nah, fuck those guys. They ruin it for all of us, dude. Those are the guys that wreck it for all of us. Because those are the guys that fucking harass women and don't know how to just talk and accept no for an answer.
Right.
And those are the guys that go on social media. Instead of saying, wow, you're really hot, they're like, you're a fucking whore.
Right.
Those are the guys that ruin it for all of us.
I know.
Fucking assholes.
It continues. I think it provides an accountability that people seem to lose online. Well, she's right about that. Being behind a screen gives people a false sense of anonymity. Sorry, she said. Yeah, I mean, that's 100% right. Most people wouldn't do half the shit they do online if they had to use their real names.
Oh, sure.
They no way would.
Yeah.
The Aussie tweeted one response from a thankful girlfriend who found out that her boyfriend had sent pictures to 4 other women and hit her after she dumped him. Jesus.
Yikes.
What do you think of this, Justin?
Somebody tweeted to us. I agree with everything that you guys have been saying, first of all.
We're saying opposite things.
That's how complicated it is.
I see both sides.
It's a bit complicated because I'm not saying it's right to just send your dick picture around, but
I think just because she's a model and she's posting photos of stuff she already does doesn't mean...
Is she...
But what you're doing is she's not just sending you... You have to follow her to see these pictures. And then these guys are just sending her. But somebody just tweeted to us, I haven't seen it yet, a link to a video on... it's Matt Lewis on Twitter, Matt _Tampa. On Huffington Post, there's a video of women reacting to...
Oh, I've seen this video. It's really funny.
But I'll say, when they say no women like dick pictures, that's not true either. A lot of women do, but they like it under certain circumstances. They have to be in the mood to see it. They're visual. They're fucking a little dirty, but they don't want them as randomly as a guy.
Right. There's a very good question coming in for you, Jimmy. Okay. There's a very good question from Patrick in Atlanta. Go ahead, Patrick.
Hey, guys. Jimmy, I love you to death, but I got a question.
Sure.
If a really hot girl sends you a picture of her dick, Do you block her?
You raise a very good question. I certainly don't. I follow her back. That's how you get followed back.
Very nice, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Very nice.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm like,
sorry for what? She's one. This
I'm
girl's
flustered.
fucking. This girl's stunning.
Yeah.
And sexy. She's much hotter than the. Oh boy, I almost bombed. Back up and bail out. Move on. Yes.
What?
Oh, I was gonna throw out a fucking. Let me see her feet.
How are we supposed to find her feet?
I don't know. How about the picture with her sandals on? What do you think?
right there.
What do you think she stands on? Hold on, another one. Not that one. Not that one.
Right
Just
there.
Top left. Top left. Top left.
Hey,
there you go.
it's
Thank
the
you.
same
those are
size.
feet.
No, I know, but I want to see them. I want to see them.
The feet are a little wide.
I like that. More
They're a
foot
little
for,
wide.
More foot
She's
for sweetie.
flat-footed.
The
Thank
feet
you,
are
my love.
wide. Come on.
She's flat-footed, Mark.
No, she's not. Look at
I
the
don't
arch
know
on
what
that
that means.
motherfucker.
I want to
That's a
know why
little flat.
Paul just brought Jimmy a rag.
He did. And some fucking cleaner from my screen. He's right. No, I have a cute comment. That's what I put on my screen after somebody writes a dirty comment.
Delightful. Just delightful.
Somebody writes a dirty word, I always clean it off.
Oh man,
It's cute, isn't it? Yeah, she's wonderful.
it's so weird how the whole
I'd
thing
date her.
goes. Like,
Well, now you know how the internet works now, though.
yeah, but it's weird how
Now they're going to shame her back. She's going to get so many fucking dick pictures now.
no.
Oh, my God. You're crazy.
You think?
The follow-up of this story is that she's gotten 10 times more dick pictures because she came forward with this.
She's also getting a
How
lot of
much
press
you want
now.
to bet?
We are talking about it, so it's a
She's going to get
by her.
so
She's
many
doing
dick
fine.
pictures.
Yeah, she'll live.
So many.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's an aggressive, shitty act, and it fucks up. What happens is this. It makes women lump you in with every jack-off who just will send a dick picture because you fucking don't know how to read a woman at all.
Yeah.
And you think that that's what they want the minute you talk. Like, you feel it out. I love sending a dick picture, but it's like to send it to someone who doesn't want it is humiliating.
I understand. But
Embarrassing.
you also understand how the internet works because now there a whole bunch of people out there are going to be like, oh, really? You just shamed a bunch of these fucking guys? Well, now look what we do back to you.
Yeah.
That's just how it works, unfortunately. She's going to get so many dick pictures.
Wow.
Look at the hiney shots.
Isn't that weird though? That girls, the whole setup is weird. How girls hate dicks. You know, like a strange dick. Like if you flash a girl on the subway, she like needs therapy. You know.
I always found that stuff just funny.
I mean, it's funny for us, but like if a woman flashed you.
I would find it funny.
You would find, no matter how ugly she was, you'd be like, "Wow, jeez."
I would. That would make my day in a weird way.
Of course.
Even if it was a bad one, I would just laugh.
It would make your day, but for women, they have to like
They're
get
horrified.
counseling.
Yeah.
It's weird how that's set up.
Because we don't get fucking, you know what it is? They get groped at work and all this fucking shit. And everyone's dated a girl who's got that fucking scummy,
Story.
weaselly ex who
Yeah.
won't let go, who just keeps texting. Hey, who are you talking to?
Right.
That fucking leech ex-boyfriend who won't just kill himself already.
Yeah.
That stalker, fucking stalker mentality drives me crazy.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But every once in a while, you get a girl on the subway that is very aggressive. Back to the flasher. Those videos are hilarious.
But yeah, again, like say that she's a really hot girl on the subway. They say she's wearing a fucking mini skirt on the subway, and a guy pulls his dick out. That's what the equivalent of it is. She fucking videotapes it and puts it online. But
no one-
jerk off.
No one would look like this on the subway, Jimmy.
But you know what I mean? To some guys, she might.
Did you see the one where she's just wiggling her ass and barely has any clothes on?
Her ass is wiggling too.
Look at the wiggly. wiggly.
You think there's any part of women that get flattered by all that shit? Like, this hobo's jerking off to me. It's kind of nice.
I would say.
I mean, the idea of rape, you know, hey, it's scary, but this guy's he's breaking the law just to fuck me. Sorry.
That's Mark Norman. We don't know who the fuck he is.
Just saying, it's the guy's burning a lot of calories. Just
well, we certainly could go to the phones and ask the ladies for the answer.
I would love to ask
I don't know
women
what
how
to
you
do with
feel.
that.
How do women feel about the dick pictures? Like, I'm maybe some girls will go, "Hey, she has it coming," for showing off like that. But to me, people who send dick pictures like that, there's a weird look. Are there guys that are just being dirty and think it's sexy? Yeah.
Look, I got to keep saying, I know it's wrong to send the dick pictures, but she's like, in a weird way, she's kind of overly flirting, and
she's a model. She's not flirting. These are photos.
Just look at the eyes and the lips.
So what?
She's got the lips in a way like.
What
you
about
can't-
porn stars?
You
She's
can't
looking
have
at the
this.
camera, and she's right. We can't. She's being truthful.
Oh, I will show you every little angle of me, but you can't have it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I've
why
always
would you?
found that a little strange.
Why do you think you can have it?
Yeah, we look. Why do we deserve it? If she doesn't want to fuck, then we don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't have to look.
Right.
If she was following, like, here's the thing. If she direct messaged you and sent you naked pictures of herself, and then you sent your dick picture back, and then she's a fucking horrible twat, and she was fucking with you and teasing you, and then when you responded, she hurt you. That's different. Her just posting things and us choosing to look at them, there's a huge difference. And people misinterpreting these fucking signals and getting it wrong. That's why fucking women don't want to see our dicks.
That could be the hottest picture I've ever seen in my life.
Exactly. That towel, though. Put the towel. You're going to fucking drip it all over the floor. Sorry.
I guess all I'm trying to say is...
But we're lucky to have this. It's free.
Thank you. We're lucky. She's giving a gift.
You have to buy a calendar for this shit in the 80s.
When a girl gives you a cake, do you show her your dick? No, you thank her for it.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, my headline is, she shouldn't be too surprised, because I really thought it was going to be a girl that didn't show as much skin as this one is showing.
But what's the
And then
goal?
she's surprised that so many people are sending dick pics.
I don't get the move, though.
And
with
of
the
course,
dick pic.
the sending of the dick pic is definitely
Look at her. She might have the nicest ass like that anyone's ever had.
I want to eat pudding out of that ass.
I want to eat something that looks like pudding that comes out of that ass. Why do they have to phrase it like I'm on vaudeville? I want to eat something that looks like pudding. I should be chopping a cigar in a fucking Vlasic Pickles commercial. Fucking hack. You're not kidding, Mark. She's so lovely, I'd marry her. Boo, Jim.
Hey, I love vaudeville.
Let's go to Val in Houston.
Hello, Val.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, you fucking Kilmer Batman?
Yeah, that's it. Well, I was calling because I talked about this. I saw this article on Friday. I was telling my husband about it, and I agree with Jimmy. I don't know why men think it's so flattering to send pics like that. It doesn't work at all. So I totally agree with what she's doing.
Did you see her pictures?
I did see her pictures, and she's
beautiful.
amazing. I mean,
She's
she's
fucking beautiful.
stunning. I can see why men think that might be the path to go down, but
She doesn't know how the internet works, though, because she is definitely going to get so many more dick pics now.
well, I saw her say that since she started doing that, I guess other men had heard that that's her MO, and so they stopped sending as many. So I don't know if now that it's more of a story, maybe that will happen, but.
Yeah, wait for the follow-up story. I will guarantee that this is going to get out of control now.
Well,
the internet is not a place where everyone goes, oh, that's a good point. I think we all should stop now.
That's true.
I think we all should stop what we were doing. He made a really good point.
And if she sent back a request saying, hey, why would you send that? That's not what I asked for, and I didn't sign up for that. Some guys would go, hey, sorry about that.
Oh,
I was
yeah,
just
of course
a little turned
they would.
on.
Of
But
course
a lot
they
of guys would be like, well, then you shouldn't be showing off, you fucking whore.
Yeah, that's obviously all that's wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I think she should have just blocked people and moved on, and then this thing when she's basically pulling her pants down.
Maybe she's pulling them up.
No.
Maybe she's just pulling them up.
The thumbs are inside. That means she's pulling them down.
Not true. Maybe she just took a dump. Maybe she's in a Japanese subway and she just squatted and took a deuce and she's looking down, making sure because she's got diarrhea that none leaked under her vagina.
Oh, okay.
Maybe she's making sure there's no diarrhea stains in the front.
Then that would obviously be stupid to send a dick pic.
Those pants used to be white.
They're red. It's true.
She's spotting. Oh, man.
Yeah, that's one sexy bear.
God.
Her Instagram is Emily Sears for the people.
Yep.
Now I'm angry. I'm angry here.
Yeah. She's really pretty, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to date her.
Yeah?
She'd like me.
You should send a picture of your calves.
Yeah, I should start sending my calves. Everything but my dick.
Yeah, let's
everything but I'm like, you don't get the pecker, babe.
Let's go to Sherry in New Hampshire. Sherry.
Hi.
Hi, Sherry.
Hi. Jimmy, love you, seeing you in February in Maine.
Thank you very much. Oh, good. Thank you very much.
But I disagree with you.
Okay.
Whoa.
I think her whole point of doing those pictures, and I think we can all agree, because she knows she's beautiful, and the whole idea of turning people on.
Yes.
Okay. So if what's the best way to let somebody know that they did their job and they turned you on? Show them your dick. Show them your hard. Show them your hard on.
But is she
How can she be surprised?
Because is she asking to see the results?
Well, I don't know. In my opinion, if she's putting her pictures out for very easily public viewing. I understand you have to click.
Okay.
to
So a
see
woman
them.
on Facebook who puts up bikini photos, and there are a lot of you that do that. Let's say your daughter or your sister put up Facebook bikini photos, and some guy interpreted that as she wants me to. So all of a sudden on Facebook, guys should just be sending you or your daughter dick pics.
No, you're absolutely right. However, I would look at my daughter and say, well, what the hell? You can't put out pictures that you know are going to turn people on and then be surprised when it turns people
I'm
on.
with Sherry. I think it's the whole that she's kind of surprised by the whole thing, and then she's like, oh, grody.
That is very much a much lower level. She was asking for it. That's all it is. Men can't control themselves, and she showed me her ass. I'm not saying don't be turned on by it. I'm not saying don't look. I don't think every guy that looks at a nipple is wrong. I'm a pervert. But you can't just send a dick picture to someone who is not engaging you at all.
I just didn't think these pictures were going to be this sexy and over the top when I read this story. So I've and I'm saying it again because it sounds kind of shitty. You probably shouldn't be sending your dick pics around, but she shouldn't be surprised by the whole thing.
So why not do it on
As a mature woman, if I'm sitting here and I dress up nice and I put a picture on Facebook, okay, somebody sends me a random dick pic, I'll be like, wow, okay, that guy totally misinterpreted that dress. If I take a picture of myself nude, shaking my ass, walking toward the bedroom, and I get a dick pic, totally not surprised.
It's not a surprise, but the guys are so fucking stupid who do this. See, guys like that do this, you're the reason that fucking women don't want to show things like this. Like, you dumb motherfuckers are the reason that women fucking are weird about their sexuality. Like, when a woman fucks a lot of guys are like, oh, she's a dirty whore. And then we wonder why women don't want to suck our dicks in the car on the first date. I don't know, maybe because they've been told they're whores for all these years for sucking our dicks on the first date. Can't have it both ways, dumbbells.
And then,
well, here's the question.
but then now she's shaming the guys. That whole part of it's pretty sad.
She's shaming them because they're aggressively contacting her, and she's not asking for that.
Yeah.
She's not asking for that engagement.
But I have a question, then. If she's so comfortable with nudity, then why does...
we lost Mark, by the way.
She's showing, she's comfortable showing. And I'm not moralizing about dick pictures. I've sent more than probably everybody in this room combined. Unless Mark has sent a lot. Well, email me and request. But you know what I mean?
And he means it.
This is not about feeling like you're bad if you send dick pictures. I'm fucking dirty. I love the perversion. I just think if you're randomly sending them, you're stupid. And you're asking for trouble, and you're invading someone in a way. It really is invasive. Her showing her hair is not enough. It's never been enough. And I'm not being a feminist by saying that. I resent the fact that women don't want to dress like this or don't want to do this because they know they're inviting a fucking guy to jerk off in front of them on the subway.
Right.
Fucking crazy.
All right.
Wow.
All right.
Thank
you. I'll see you in February.
Thank you, sweetheart.
She's also not nude. She's showing as much as you would in the Victoria's Secret catalog.
And even if she was nude, like I get why a guy wants to send his dick. Believe me, of course.
She would be nude, but Instagram frowns upon that.
Yeah.
This one would definitely be nude on Instagram.
Oh, this guy's got an ass grab. He's got a handful.
See that? Let's go to Paul in Chicago.
Yay!
What's up, Paul?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Jimmy's going to be there a week from this weekend.
Who is that girl? Who's that guy?
Fuck yeah.
All right, what do you got?
Opie, I completely agree with you because, like, with how guys are scumbags and, like, she should not be surprised. But also with Jimmy, agree because, like, why not fucking expose everybody? Everybody's a pervert anyway in their own little ways. Fuck everybody. Everybody should just be honest about how they really are and how they want to see assholes and fucking do all that dirty shit, you know?
We're just so quick to shame people online, though.
Exactly. It's so
Get them in trouble and just try to fuck up their lives. And maybe some of these guys are just lonely and maybe didn't even mean anything too aggressive by it.
Well, no, she's doing it to people who have boyfriends, to have girlfriends. She's shaming people who have girlfriends, and she's going to their partner and go, look what your fucking partner's sending me.
Right.
It's different.
Crazy thought.
And then her next picture is she's almost completely naked.
Yes, she's
so strange to me, the whole thing.
She's giving. Here's what's happening. Those dickheads are wrecking it for us. She's doing this for free. She's showing us these fucking photos. Jerk off to it all you want.
Right.
Like, it's not like she's shaming people who are looking at them. She's not asking for an interaction. Hey, you want to see these? Follow me. That's the beginning and end of the contract.
And some of these guys might have a girlfriend. But if this one writes back, then goodbye, girlfriend. Hello, Australia.
Right.
Hey, Jimmy, by the way, I just listened to you turn Patrice on Face Off and laugh my ass off.
Thank you. It's one of my favorite moments. Thank you,
amazing.
Oh, you guys have a good one.
All right, Paul. Thank you. So he agrees with a little bit of everybody in the room.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting though that everybody's shaming everybody now, but yet you're not allowed to fat shame or slut shame? There's weird ways you're allowed to shame, but some ways you can't shame.
All right.
Where? They're shaming for everything online.
I know, that's what I'm saying. But then you're not allowed to. You get in trouble for slut shaming,
right?
Or fat shaming. But this shaming is okay.
Yeah. Let me go to Jerry in Florida. Now the phones are lit because now I think a lot of people have seen the pictures. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hi, Jerry.
Hey, I think it's kind of weird that you're saying, Jimmy. You're saying that these females are able to entice, but then when someone does go too far, they're not preparing themselves for going too far. And I don't think it's fair for you to give them an excuse and say, oh, well, these guys are douchebags, because once they do start to get aroused, because this chick is out here arousing them for whatever reason, and then now all of a sudden she's like, oh, my God, I don't want them to behave this way. Well, bitch, put your titties up.
But do you see
know what I mean?
There's a lot of enticing going on in these photos.
But it's all this stuff about, and I know what you mean, but it's all this, well, she did this, and it's like, as a guy, none of us get to fuck that girl. None of us do. So
she knows that. That's the problem.
Exactly. So why not just admit that it's an aggressive act? Ooh, she enticed. A woman has never enticed me to show her my dick without contacting me.
Well, when a girl sticks her hiney up in the air like she is, that's pretty that's an aggressive act.
I can look or not look. I can look or not look.
But it comes down to the fact that it's so immediate. It's online, so you can just message her. If this was Playboy, you wouldn't take a picture of your dick, put it in the mail, and send it in.
Of course,
it's so immediate.
Takes too long. That's mail.
I get the turn on, Jerry. I mean, I really do. I understand. I'm not saying that these guys, every one of them is a terrible. I don't mean that.
Sure.
But it's that they fuck it up for all of us, because it tells women, don't show these photos or don't dress like this, because we're going to take it sexually right to your front door because we can't handle it. That's like that Middle East burqa shit. You got to wear this and cover yourself because I can't handle when you look good. Well, man up, motherfucker, and just jerk off all over yourself. That's what I have to do.
I think on the adverse, though, I think it also sends a negative image to those females who actually want to do that. Because if you've got these females like this one, who you're saying we're going to not have any access to, we're never going to fuck this chick, then why is she doing that? Why is she doing things that chicks who want to fuck is doing, but then turning down when the people who are doing what they want to do with chicks who want to fuck?
Because they're not just doing that. They're not. It's not like no. It's not like they're contacting her. Hey, I love your photos. You're really beautiful. And she writes back, "Thank you. What's your name? I like your pictures too."
Yeah.
There's not.
And it's not like. And it's also not. I'm sorry to cut you off. It's also not like she's on there and she's sending a picture of her dressed appropriately and saying, hey guys, I really would like to be attractive right now, but I kind of can't because I really don't want to fuck you. She's not being honest about the interaction either.
Yes, she's being 100% honest. Like you're of course she is, because she's not writing these guys back. Let's say
she's not writing it to them doesn't mean she doesn't know in her mind, I'm going to be able to put my tits and pussy out here, and then these people are going to be enticed by it. It's going to give me 1 million followers and make me famous, and I never have to go through with the contract.
What's the contract that we can't handle looking at her? So basically, hold on. I don't know what you look like. Hold on, Jerry. Hold on. I don't know what you look like. Let's just say you're a guy and you're a really handsome male model, and you're going to tell me you're not going to be, like, say you're totally straight, and then guys are just sending you their dick pictures, gay guys.
Wouldn't care.
A lot of guys
wouldn't care.
You might not care, but a lot of guys would be very annoyed by that. And we're not also typically rape victims as much. But I disagree. I think that what happens is that what you're saying is a much lighter and different argument. A lighter argument of the burqa. In a way, we can't handle.
Cover herself up. I like her tits.
The burqa, they say, for them, it's not this.
Right.
For them, it's don't show your hair because that's enticement. Right. Don't show your face because that's enticement. Like, it's just the level is a lot different. But in the Middle East, they say, do not show your legs. Wearing a skirt, that's enticement. So they think about this the way they feel that that's enticement, that would bring on sexual assault or rape. It's the same thing, just a much different level.
Let me ask you this real quick, and then I'm going to go.
Sure.
So do we know as males, do you think females know that if they walk out scantily clad, they go like that bit Patrice had about the bears, salmon dipped in honey? Genius bit, because females know that they're allowed to behave a certain way.
Yes, they are.
And then men, that thing we feel inside of ourselves that we get from seeing that. Okay, so let me ask you this: if you see a sign on a gate and it says "Beware the dog," you understand. Usually, we don't even have to see that sign. Most times, when we see certain dogs, we understand that dog can possibly rip the fuck out of me.
Okay.
Are you going to walk up to it with bloody fucking stakes in your hand and entice that dog?
Okay, well, I don't look at myself as a man, as a fucking mindless asshole dog. Let me ask you this.
That's not the same thing.
Let me ask you this.
Because it's not enticing.
Okay, enticing.
We're going to feel.
You're a married guy. You got a girlfriend. I don't know. Either way.
No, I've got a girlfriend.
Okay, let's just say she dresses one time. She's at the beach and she looks fucking super sexy. And she walks into a store and some clerk takes his dick out or touches her ass because she enticed him. You're cool with that, right?
I think
that's not it.
I think that's a lot different than what's going on here, though.
Why? But it's the same. It's enticement.
But that's a huge step forward that you would actually, touch a girl in public.
Why? She enticed you. Remember the dog and the steak argument? She enticed you.
This is more like throwing the line in the water. Like, well, here's my dick. I mean, it's a bad move, obviously, but it's not like you're actually, touching the girl.
Oh, okay.
Physically, I think.
I feel like when we're online, though, those females, those interactions that we have with those people, because it's private, because it's here at our house, we feel like they're talking to us. And so those guys sending her that dick pic is not them just being aggressive. I think it's them saying, hey, this is, and they want to be that special one that she says, hey, you know what? That's a great dick. I want to keep that dick. Like it.
Well, then they deserve it because they're so stupid. They're so stupid, and they're such idiots. They deserve to be embarrassed.
I think it's an important point, though, and I think it's a huge leap forward. There's not a person in this room that thinks that a guy should be allowed to touch a girl because she's dressing sexy in public.
But that's the same line of thinking. It's a different level of it, but it's the same line of thinking. It's farther removed.
To a point, but someone online thought that's what I was saying.
No,
like, fuck no, that's not what I was saying here.
All right, let's do it to a different level. Let's just say you got a girlfriend and she dresses sexy. We all have dated women that dress sexy and she goes to work. Hold on. Let's say she goes to work and she has a boss who wants to fuck her.
Right.
And let's say the boss sends her an email. Or the coworker, not boss. Say the coworker sends her an email and says, look, I've been seeing you at work. You look really beautiful. I would love to take you out. And, I'm really, whatever. Do you look at that the same way you would as that same guy at work just sending her a photo of his cock? You're telling me as the boyfriend, you look at both of those emails the same?
What I would do in that situation when she got the dick pic, the first thing I would ask her is what happened before dick pic.
You would ask her basically, did she request that? Yeah, did she request it?
If she requested, I would just ask her, what happened before dick pic? Because most guys, especially a manager, a boss, they're not going to jeopardize their job and just pull their dick out because my chick walked in.
Oh, no. Say she dressed as sexy. Say she just dressed as sexy at work. So if she said I dress sexy.
I would tell my chick, like, I'm a proponent of Patrice.
Okay.
Like, I would not allow my chick. I would tell her, hey, man, if you're going out and you're doing this, this is how this makes us feel when we see that.
Wow, you'd side with the guy who just sent a dick picture to your girlfriend at work?
That's not what I said. What I'm saying is that I would like to put my female, instead of putting her in a position where she walks out into the world mindless and thinking that there's no repercussion or there's no possible danger to her being out there like that. You have to cover yourself. It's like my last chick I was with. I was married. This bitch used to do the same shit. She would go out to the fucking bar, be like, oh my God, these guys bought us all these drinks and this and that and the other. And then they wanted to holler at me afterward. How dare they? I'm like, bitch, look at how you dress. And you're taking free drinks from them. You know what they want.
Right. Hold on, Jerry. Wait, hold on. What you just said something. Hold on. You just said something that makes sense. Yeah. Yes. She's taking drinks from a guy. He's buying her drinks. He's making an offer. Do you want a drink? Yes, I do. Okay. There's a little give and take there. So a guy wanting to holler at her after, that's a lot different. a guy wanting to talk to a girl after buying her drinks, I get why a guy wants that, and I get why he'd be annoyed. That's different than sending your dick to a stranger who has not engaged you.
That same level of arrogance that she has about that person just wanting to get to know her better, this other chick has that same level of arrogance about a dick pic.
The girl hasn't engaged.
Don't understand the levels.
The girl hasn't engaged. Dude, that makes men look weak. It makes. How about this? Instead of
the guy wants to talk to her,
instead of criticizing, oh, she dressed sexy, like we're all a bunch of little fucking pussies who can't handle it. How about you? Hold on. How about we start fucking shaming the guys who don't know how to handle it and don't know when you should send a dick picture? You're wrecking it for all of us because I have a couple of good ones and I like sending them. But women have gotten desensitized because they keep getting them sent to them by guys that they don't like.
I think they have to be able to take responsibility, though.
But responsibility for dressing a certain way, that's silly.
Yes. If I go to a job interview, I can't go to a job interview dressed like fucking homeless Bobby. I have to go to the interview dressed appropriately because I understand what type of reaction I want to get from those people. Females know what kind of interaction that they're looking for, and they're going to get when they dress that way.
But no one is saying if a guy talked to her, he's a criminal. No one is saying, hold on. You just talked, let me talk. If a guy says, hey, I want to take you out, I'm not saying he's a terrible person. She dressed sexy. He shouldn't have asked. I'm talking about the aggressive thing of sending a dick picture to a stranger and then crying when she makes it public. I've sent dick pictures.
I'm sorry. I didn't listen to that.
But you think
I've sent dick pictures. These people are strangers to her. She is a model. They're just sending their fuck.
To them. She's a stranger to them.
Oh my fuck. Okay, you know what, dude? Then why are they looking at her pictures? Just don't follow her.
Putting it out there in public.
Oh, they can't help themselves. Cool.
I can go right now. And
absolutely.
I don't know her name at all, but I can Google chick who's outing dudes dick pics, and it will come up because she's putting it out.
And then we can't handle looking at those pictures. We just can't handle it. Beat her with a fucking burqa. It's the same thing, but a different level.
All right, Jerry, we're gonna let you go because there's so many fucking.
Yeah, man.
All right, Jerry. Thanks for the call, man.
I think I have a problem with this. I feel like she's not being honest because then she turns around like, oh my God, I wasn't thinking that at all. As these sexy shots are all over Instagram.
If she was emailing pictures or texting pictures to married men or men in relationships, then it's the same thing.
If she engaged the guy, if she talked to the guy, and that's.
But I'm surprised that she's surprised that guys would act that way and send the dick pics.
I don't think she's surprised.
She's not surprised.
She just doesn't like it.
She doesn't like it. Exactly.
And she doesn't have to like it.
It's this mentality that men have. But you're the guys that ruin it for all of us who are willing to take no for an answer.
You don't like it, but you got to assume that you put pictures out there like that. There's definitely going to be a part of society that are going to absolutely send you the dick pics, and then she turns around and she's a dick and she's shaming the people.
Well, then why shouldn't the guys
she should just block the people in all honesty and just move on?
Why shouldn't the guys assume that their dick pics are going to be put out there then? Like, if she has to assume their dick's being sent, why should they have the assumption she's going to keep it private?
Yeah.
She's doing something in public. She's saying publicly, hey, look at me. And she's okay.
Look at all of me.
So why aren't these guys putting their dick pictures publicly? Why aren't they putting it on their Instagram or on their Twitter and linking it? Yeah. They're sending it privately, and they're crying that their expectation of privacy wasn't honored when she didn't ask for that. That's the problem.
Well, the phones are certainly lit. Chris in Jersey, I agree with Jim. You can't just touch a girl in person if she looks hot. We all agree on that point, by the way. I don't want that to be fucking confused. Guys are reacting just like someone might with a comedian after a show if they say something they don't like.
Let me see what you mean by that. Do you mean that they're confronting you?
Let me say hi to Mike in Brooklyn. Mike.
Yes.
Hey, Mike.
How you guys doing?
Good. Hi.
All right, so the comparison that I had was exactly that. She's a model. Her job is to show off her body. You are a comedian. Your job, and you guys are very good at your job. Who, as a comedian, is a thing of beauty, just like her body is, right? You compare the two. You guys are different, unique in your own style. Now, shit you say pisses people off, right? So does that give them the right, instead of a dick pic, to send you a death threat?
Yeah, I mean, and what you're saying is correct in a way. It's like they do send these unsolicited, messages to you and like angry messages. But again, Maybe, I don't know. Is that the same thing or is it different? I don't know.
Because she's a model and it's a job, right? It's a profession. She is a model. She's not a random girl baking fucking cookies at home or whatever. She's a fucking model. That's her job, right? And you're a comedian. That's your job. It's a profession. So if you compare the two professions, you're always going to piss somebody off in your profession.
But she's not pissing people off. People like the pictures.
Oh, boy, do they like the pictures.
Yeah.
Right.
There's no argument there.
Yeah, I've never given anyone a hard on.
I know
with
what
my
this
ex.
guy's arguing what you do with liking something so much.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though, dude. Like, we're not, by being funny and by joking, I'm not requesting random death threats or whatever, or fuck you. But to me as a comic, I mind that less. I find that less invasive. When people interact with me through email, even if I didn't ask for it, I find that to be a different level of, because it's verbal. It's, if somebody sends me a photo of a decapitated head, that's a little bit,
that's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Let me go to Steve in New York. Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, man, you lost me on this one.
That's fine.
I've listened to you for 15 plus years. I'm normally on board, but I support Jimmy 100% on this. You are straight up wrong.
You're saying that I think she's asking for it. My whole point, I think, is that she shouldn't really be surprised that people are going to react in this way.
Well, we don't know that she's surprised.
Right.
True.
No, you're right about that. You're right.
Okay. The second part of it is we're literally taking like a 1950s standard and applying it to like today's day of connectivity. Like a girl should be able to navigate the world regardless of her profession, barring being a porn star and in the sex industry itself, and don't compare what she does to the sex industry. Barring that, she should be able to navigate her life without some random guy sending a dick pic. And the only ones that shouldn't be surprised is a guy who's like, oh, my God, I can't believe my wife and children are going to find out about an unsolicited dick pic I sent.
Yeah, because he did it in private, and that's the problem. It's like the guys are crying. It's like everyone's mad at her.
Yeah.
But like, well, then why? If they were doing it publicly, I know you can't put a dick picture on Instagram, but that's the thing is like she's being sexy.
Oh, you can't put a dick picture on Instagram.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So that might be why we're having this private versus public argument.
And then people are mad that she's putting their pictures out there or just telling their spouse. Why? They were being sneaky, dating some girl, and then sending their dick picture. And again, I get that. I've done it.
Yeah.
But you're just randomly doing it.
Your point's brilliant, Jimmy. Your point is brilliant because one of the things that we got to consider here is the only reason why these guys are even present to say like, oh, she's a whore and say these profanities is that they were following her in the first place because she was giving them something that they wanted.
Yeah.
She's and now all of a sudden the switch is flipped and she's a whore and it's ridiculous.
All right, Steve.
All right, guys, I'm punching out.
Thank you,
but
buddy.
Jerry raised a point about dressing for a job interview, and I know what he means. Like, if you walk into a job interview in a bad outfit, you can't be upset when you don't get the job.
Sure.
Meaning, you understand the impression you're giving, so you can't pretend you're shocked at the reaction you get.
Right.
My problem is the reaction you get is wrong. To me, if you walk into a job interview dressed in a pair of fucking khaki shorts and flip flops, that's an appropriate reaction for them to go, you're not right for this law firm.
Yeah.
But if a girl is sexy, to me, it's not an appropriate reaction for you to send your dick immediately without her asking for it or without indicating.
Yes.
This isn't a case of I made a mistake. Like she was like, I bet, hey, I think you're cute. And there's a back and forth. And then you send it. Then I would say she's being a cunt because guys just made a little mistake and misinterpreted. This is different.
Do you get unsolicited nude photos, Jimmy?
Yes.
And are you bothered by that? Or?
Never. It's a different, but again, that's me.
It's different.
And because
I know. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I do. Actually, believe it or not, I do get them and I love them and I appreciate them. Thank you.
All right. Let's say hi to Chris in San Diego. Chris, I got to pee so bad. Chris, go ahead.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hi, Chris.
I usually agree with you, Jimmy, but on this, I disagree because, in a way, like you said, the male model and the gay people sending pics and stuff, you're doing this in public. We know that there's these type of predators, these assholes out there.
Sure.
So when you're putting this out there, you're enticing. You're already inviting it. I agree with you that these guys are sending it unsolicited, that she's not talking to them, she's not asking for it. But like you guys said, you can't do it publicly there, so they have to do it privately.
I want to make sure people understand the difference of the two. I don't think any woman should be harassed in that way and be touched and all that shit because she's dressing sexy in public. Of course not.
So why don't they do it in public? Like my thing is this: why do they expect her to honor their need for privacy when they're fucking sending an aggressive thing to her like that? Like why don't I know you can't show your dick on Instagram, But why don't they put in public, like send something that says, I have a great dick picture for you? Oh, that's right. They don't want anyone else to know. They want to have this private thing with her. Without her asking for it, without her agreeing to it, without her indicating that she wants it. You showed me your pictures. They're fucking hot. So now you have enticed me to send you my dick, and you have agreed to keep it private. Never having agreed to keep it private, but my assumption and my request for privacy must be honored by you, because I'll get in trouble. Well, if men understand this shit, and if we're also understanding if she enticed us, why should we care if the pictures are made public? Why isn't that a valid argument? Why are they mad when their pictures are shown? You know, hey, man, she enticed me. Every guy who's got a girlfriend, you ballsy guys that think this, tell your girlfriend that shit.
Right.
Every man who says she enticed me to send my dick that called the show, I get why you're turned on. But if you firmly believe that, A, let people send pictures like that to your girlfriends and your wives, and B, fucking show your dick. And when your girlfriend cries about it, go, poof, she enticed me.
I can't debate anymore because my temperature just dropped because I have so much pee in me.
Okay, we can come back to this. People feel very strong.
Oh, they're lit.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can run down the hall and you can take some phone calls because. Why don't we do that? Someone grab some phone calls for Jimmy. I literally got to fucking pee.
Why do they think they deserve it, though? Why do they think, like, oh, I can show her my dick. She'll want to see it. Who do you think you are?
I mean, you know how guys think, though. They're like, holy fuck, you're showing your ass and tits. Here's my dick.
I know, but what are they
I'm not saying it's right, but of course guys going to think in that way.
I don't even get the thinking, the logic. What? I'm going to show her my dick. The world's going to change. What's going to happen?
But do you see how the people, like, when, and again, I keep going back to Jerry because, you know, he represents a lot of people's points of view, and I know what he means. But it's like the same thing he would have said to his girlfriend, hey, what did you do? How come these guys aren't saying... all they're doing is blaming this woman for outing them. How come not one guy that has called this show has said, yes, it's totally fine that she showed the dick, and the guy whose dick she showed should have fucking said to his girlfriend, she enticed me, and I had every right to do that. Why is it all of a sudden, I need my secret kept, but yet the woman was wrong for showing it? I don't get that. You can't make that argument.
Right. It just doesn't make sense, the enticing thing.
What's that, buddy?
I said, I don't disagree with you on that.
That's what's bothering me, I think.
They should admit it. If you're going to do it, man up and admit that you did it and say that you enticed me. I agree with you on that 100%.
Yeah, they're. Why are the guys who are calling saying she's asking for this? Well, if enticement is such a legit reason to send your dick, why can't you tell your girlfriend, yup, she enticed me, and I sent my... Oh, I get it. Because you're in a relationship and you know that that's not a fucking good enough excuse. So your girlfriend can't know that you were enticed by another girl. Because that's wrong. I'm not man enough to say to my girlfriend, yep, I sent my dick to this girl, but this girl's a cunt for enticing me and making me send my... It doesn't make sense. You can't have it both ways.
Yeah. Like, if you saw a hot shot girl at a bar who had, like, a bikini on, could you take her in the bathroom and just show her your dick?
I have, yes.
I know, but, like, is that...
In Utopia.
That's not allowed, so why is this?
Yeah.
Like, if the shot girl went, hey, this guy just showed me his dick, he'd get in trouble.
Yeah, it's a weird... Where's Fox go?
Well, what about all these actors and actresses that are good looking that all of a sudden have porn movies made about them? They never asked for that.
Exactly. What do you mean about
sex
them?
tape?
You mean people playing Sarah Palin in a movie or something?
Oh yeah, so, stuff like that, or all the sketches. Yeah, I mean, they never asked for that. It was a perfect example. I mean, I can't stand her, but she never asked for all those pornos made about her. And look at that, the porn star now that's all over. She's got a career off of that. She does talk shows, sports shows, whatever.
A woman portraying a celebrity in a porn. Everyone knows it's not them. It's totally different, dude. Totally different.
We're back with more of the best of Opie and Jimmy.
With that, we say good morning to Judd Apatow. What's up, Judd?
Hey, Judd.
Welcome.
Hey, Judd, how are you?
How are you, man?
What's going on, buddy? I saw the first 2 episodes.
Oh, excellent.
No, actually, I saw... no, it's even better. I saw the first 4. I saw the first 4.
Oh, good.
That means I liked it, because usually you try to see one so you can talk about it a little bit, but I was like, this is all right, man. I like it.
It's built to watch in, I think, 2 sittings.
How many episodes total?
We're on the air now, right?
We are.
Yeah.
There's a casual attitude.
Yeah.
Well, we like that, though.
We like that. We try to get dirt out of people as soon as they can.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
So if we've been having sex with them, they just blurt it out.
Right. Anything could have happened in that one moment there.
Oh, yeah.
Could have been a career ender.
I guess that was a weird way to start, but I watched 4 episodes last night. I was excited to talk to you about it. It's very good, man. It's called Love, and it's on Netflix.
Yeah, it's it's weird. It's like making a 5-hour movie, which is what I've always been trying to do, minute by minute. Because people always say, why are the movies so long? And I always feel like because I'm trying to go deeper with the characters. And I need that extra 12 minutes. It's only like 8 minutes or 12 minutes, and people say they're long, and then they go home and they'll watch like 11 episodes of Breaking Bad in a row. And at some point I realized, I should be doing that thing. Yeah. So it's been really, really fun to be allowed to.
Is it hard for you to, do you like going long because you get married to the material? It's it's hard to, I like that, and it's really hard to chop anything.
I don't know. I think it's one of those things you decide later whether or not it was a wise choice or not. Mm. Because when you're in the editing room, there does come a moment where you think, if I lose this scene, you won't understand this about that person.
Right.
And you go, I can't cut it. But then you also know I'm past the line that people want to be in a movie theater next to kids texting.
Right.
At home, you'll watch a 4-hour movie. No one has ever said, I saw your movie at home and it was long.
Right.
It said, go to the movie theater sucks most of the time. Everyone's loud and making noise and things are flashing on their phones. So, and I like long movies. Someone said to me, you're showing respect for your characters when you think they're worth a little more time. So I don't know. I'm probably a bad judge because if a movie's good, I'll watch it all day. Yeah. I don't care.
I was surprised Hateful Eight was, over 3 hours, but you didn't care. Did you see it?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's really
I'm pretty
good.
bad this year. I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen a lot of movies?
It's really good. Much.
I enjoyed it, but I was surprised that they said, we're just going to put it out as a very long movie.
Well, do you use the same editor every time? Like Tarantino used the same. She passed away, and she was apparently a really big part of his success.
Yes,
because she would chop things that he didn't want chopped, and they would argue. But they said she was usually right. Do you have one person you usually use?
2 different people. There's a great guy named Bill Kerr, and he edited Superbad and Trainwreck, and then this guy Brent White who did Knocked Up and This Is 40 and 40-Year-Old Virgin, and they're great. I mean, it's really fun. And then you show the funny thing is you'll show your movie to a test audience. We go do that. You go out in the valley and you show it to 300 people, and sometimes it tests better longer, where you cut 8-10 minutes out and suddenly they don't like it as much. So it's a difficult thing to figure out.
How nerve-wracking is that? And are you just in the back of the theater? Watching their reaction?
I'm in the middle of the theater, because if you're in the back, you can't hear the laughs, because they'll go forward.
But then
you want to be in the center.
I asked that because then they know you're in the center, and then are they laughing a little harder because they know you're right there? Is that
I don't know. I try to slip in, but
sneak in.
I don't think anyone would laugh extra to help me out.
Right. What are they getting out of that at the end of the day? Like, he saw me laughing.
I don't know. I
think that might last for like a minute.
He might put me in his next.
I think you get caught up in the energy, though. I've been to a whole bunch of these, and you feel like you're caught up in the energy, and you're.
It's like stand-up, though. It'll die so fast if it's not working.
Yeah,
like there is that energy, and you feel it. Sometimes, like you're in a preview, and the place is like rocking, like the Who are about to come out. But 8 minutes in, if you don't have the goods, that room is so disappointed. Like it'll drop so fast.
It's like when Seinfeld goes on. Like they give him. I think he's even said they give him like 5 minutes of like you're a celebrity and an icon, and then it's like okay, now what? And that's why they like going on in places unannounced, because you want the honest reaction and material to test it. So you want an honest reaction.
Yeah.
Like last night at the Cellar, I disappointed the crowd.
Did you eat one? That's nice.
I didn't eat it, but it's like the end of a show, and Hannibal's there, and Todd Barry, and Judah, and you just feel like they've had enough. I'm the last person. I'm not going to bring this home, like tearing the house down. So I just said to the crowd, this is going to be a slow landing tonight. You're going to come down
be nice and smooth, though.
Yeah, this is going to be a Somalia Airlines landing.
With the hole in the plane.
That's the worst, man, when you're fucking eating it and you know that they all agree. Like there's been times when you'll hear somebody say something like, this is not good. Or you'll like overhear it because the room is quiet and you know other people.
But
Exactly.
but all you guys, you're not bothered by bombing, which I've always found fascinating. But you accept it like it's just part of the process.
You get used to it. Yeah.
When I was doing the book Sick in the Head, which is the interviews with all the comedians, Jon Stewart talked about leaning into the bomb, and I never thought about that because I always didn't want to bomb.
Yeah.
I was terrified of it. I used to enjoy watching Norm Macdonald on Weekend Update because when he would eat it, he would slow down. He would start punishing the crowd, and you could tell he wasn't feeling bad. He was getting angry.
Right.
And Jon Stewart said, you got to lean into it. You got to like love it. And it really helped me change my head and go, oh yeah, I guess you can kind of luxuriate in it.
You can own it, I guess.
I've seen Norm take some beatings, and it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like I think he when he's doing it, he enjoys it. He absolutely enjoys it. Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Tell us about Love.
So Love is, I was working with Paul Rust, who was actually in. He was in Tarantino's Nazi movie,
right? Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah, I was going to say Intolerable Bastards. I don't know what. And,
which guy is he?
The Jew.
Oh, yeah.
There's one guy they CGI'd him all over the fucking film.
Yeah, he's one of them. And Paul, is a great writer and a great actor, and his wife and him, Leslie Arfin, were saying they wanted to do something about relationships. And I said, I have this idea in a notebook. Actually, I called the idea Trainwreck and just stole the idea for the name and gave it to Amy. But the idea was for a TV show that would follow every step of a relationship. So if they met each other and talked for 10 seconds, that would be an episode. And then if he thinks about calling her but doesn't, then maybe the whole episode they wouldn't talk. And if they broke up, maybe a whole season they wouldn't even see each other. And then maybe another season they would see each other
like
again.
in real time almost.
Yeah, like a real time relationship, almost like Knocked Up as a series, but a real time thing.
Yes.
And that's what we did. And I think it came out great. It's Gillian Jacobs from Community.
She's great in it.
And it's really interesting. And it's weird because you do put it on and it's hard to shut it off. They do that thing at Netflix where they almost start the next one before the other one ends.
Yeah, it's the worst because you automatically go right. There's no way to turn it off and go, all right, fuck it, I'll catch it tomorrow.
Just click on play.
Yeah, it's great. They did very well
committed
there.
for another 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I like Paul Russ a lot. I didn't really know much about him. He has kind of a McLovin feel to him a little bit in this.
And he's a big, he's been on a big kind of legend at UCB for a long time, and he's really funny. And it's a simple show, but hopefully it works. And we're doing the second season now.
It's shot beautifully, and I like how you use music in it.
Yeah,
I love your music picks.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, that's the most fun part for me is picking music. The fact that you get to do that, you kind of feel like you're collaborating with bands, even though you never meet them.
Yeah,
you're just like, oh man, I feel like me and Van Halen just had a moment together.
Have you ever been priced out of a song? Like, I want to use this, but the band is just not going to be reasonable and let us use it for a price that we think is appropriate?
Yeah, and the one that breaks my heart, it kills me, is we were doing Freaks and Geeks and we were canceled. But we had Neil Young in the punk episode. So when the show ended, right now it's Dean Martin, but it was Only Love Can Break Your Heart to this montage.
Okay.
It made you bawl. It was incredible. We send the episode to Neil Young. He approves it. And he wants a fair amount of money, but not like insane.
Yeah.
On the higher end, but fair. The show gets canceled. But now we're finishing the show. And we know maybe it'll be somewhere someday, but maybe not. We didn't know if people would put it out on DVD, like a canceled half a season show. And they said, well, Judd, if you want the song, you'd have to write the check. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was $30,000 or $15,000 for a show that may never air again or go on DVD. And I was like, yeah, I guess that's not a good idea. And I lose sleep in the middle of the night about
because it's been canceled, yeah.
Yeah, and we would have been great.
What song did you end up using?
A Dean Martin, You're Nobody Till Somebody Loves You. I think.
Oh, right, okay.
Which works pretty well. But there's some of those every once in a while.
Right. In the new show Love, you turned me on to Jet by Paul McCartney and Wings.
Oh, that's right.
I haven't heard that song in a while. I'm like, fuck yeah. I remember how good this song was.
At a party, like a dad band plays Jet by Paul McCartney.
They're just
and
fooling
Wings.
around.
But the guy who's the lead guy in that dad band is E from the band Eels.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Who is unbelievable. So he's trying to play bad, but he's great.
He's good.
It's a good scene. And you know, I got to say, you show tits, too, which isn't bad.
You know, you're on Netflix. You're on Netflix.
I've had this discussion over the years. Like, showing tits in movies turned out it became a bad thing for some reason.
Well,
there
was a moment where it became almost like a Porky's type of idea.
Right, yeah. Right.
And, or like a Skinamax thing. But I feel like I've shown enough penises to balance it out.
Attaboy.
But you get to see a little of that in this.
I'm respectful. I show all the parts.
Good. That's nice. Women always complain. How come there's no dick? Like women have always complained. Like you'll see a bush, but you never see a guy's dick.
And there was a good sex scene in one of the earlier episodes, and my son was next to me on his Minecraft, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is really awesome.
Oh.
And I had to turn down the sound though.
How old is your son?
5. I have to be responsible.
I've made this mistake. Like I'm watching Louie, and I'm with my daughter, and I'm trying to think. Maybe she was 15. Maybe she's 15, and it's the episode with the Chloe Sevigny like masturbates under a table in a coffee shop, and we're watching the show, and the scene starts, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to just run and shut it off like a panic dad, like she can't handle it. It'll probably be like 7 seconds.
Yeah.
And it goes on and on. It's a really long scene. And I just had to turn to my daughter and go, I'm really uncomfortable right now. I should be shutting this. But
it's funny you say that because that's exactly what happened last night. I'm thinking, all right, how long can she possibly moan for?
Exactly.
He's distracted. And then about 10, 15 seconds of moaning, I'm like, oh, fuck. All right, I got to turn this down.
But you got to give them a better, because they don't understand at 5. Just give them a different reason. Like, what's wrong with her? Oh, she has cancer. You know, keep it like,
He never looked up, but I was like, I gotta do the right thing. But I went back and turned up the volume and watched it again, just so you know.
Just so you understood.
I did that.
Well, that makes you debate, like, is masturbation bad? Should my family understand what this is?
Yeah. Know what I really?
Everyone does it.
I think it's a future. I don't think it's the first episode, but when they're hanging around and just doing theme songs for movies, that's some nice writing right there, Judd. That was awesome when they're figuring out the song for Perfect Storm.
Yeah, they do this funny thing. I guess Paul Rudd does it in real life where they'll have like a party with all these guys who play instruments and they try to write the theme song to movies that have no theme song. Like the closing title.
Wow, that's freaking brilliant.
I looked at that as a radio bit. I'm like, fuck, why don't we think of that years ago?
Bit.
Like the closing song to Carlito's Way. So the Perfect Storm.
You should have been nicer to Benny.
That's exactly it. They're sitting around just drinking beers and doing bong hits, trying to figure out the theme song for Perfect Storm. I really enjoyed that scene.
But would it happen with like Apocalypse Now? Like they had This Is the End, they had The Doors, but there's no theme written around it. So would they do it for movies that already had a song, or it had to be with no song at all?
I don't think they have very tight rules.
Okay. Yeah, I really am acting like this is a fucking official radio contest.
Someone comes up with a movie, they start laughing like, oh yeah, this would be perfect, and then they go with it.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I think you got a nice show on your hands, Joe.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad.
It's on Netflix. It's called Love. What else about it? They did a lot of pot smoking, and dialogue's good.
When you write an episode, too, like you said, you write like this is an entire relationship. So will you get like, okay, I see this scene, I see that scene, or do you kind of go chronologically in your head, or can you jump from episode to episode, write a scene, okay, that'll be episode 7, or this will be earlier? How does your head work with that?
It's almost like, we do the same thing at Girls where you just get a big whiteboard and you list every character and then you just put the numbers of episodes across the top and you just slowly try to figure out like the arc of what would happen to them each season. And it's like a checkerboard that slowly gets filled in. Like, oh, then in episode 5, she needs to meet that guy. Then in episode 9, she punches him in the face. And then slowly it fills in. And then you change things as you write. But that's usually how it happens.
So it's a basic outline. So this way you're not writing in episode 1, okay, and then she goes to Zimbabwe. And you're like, no, that's stupid. Yeah. I'm cutting out all this stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
I mean, even more with a Netflix show, I think you're thinking, oh, people are watching like 5 of these in a row, and you have to think about the experience of sitting there watching 5, because if episode 2 and 3 feel very similar, You go, oh, that wouldn't be fun. It has to,
Right.
it
Wow.
has to be like evolving and changing, but being the part of one organic thing. And I've never thought that way before, so it's been interesting because I'm a fan of it. Like I love Narcos, and you know, there's a lot of these shows that I will.
So you got to
bang out
start
fast.
thinking that people are binge watching, and so you have to put it together in a different way.
Well, that's why FX is again. That's the only way they can do it. This OJ stuff.
Yes, I've seen
really
6
great.
of them.
Yeah,
So have we. You like
Excellent.
it, right?
It's really good. I mean, I always feel bad watching things like that because I know it's real. I live like right around the corner from all of it. Like that's exactly where I live, and I feel bad that like it's become light entertainment.
That's what Brewer was saying.
Yeah, Brewer.
That's what he was saying
So
when
I
we first
started off. Like if that's my sister,
yes,
or if that's someone in my family, I don't want Hollywood making money off that shit. Even though I know it's entertaining, it pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah, I think
it just pisses me off. It's dark and dirty.
It's tough, but the difference between me and you is I still will enjoy every second of it.
Right.
I'll watch it. I'll know it's wrong, and I can write an essay why it's wrong.
But at least you said it.
But I do have that feeling. But it is part of our history, and it is about larger issues in Los Angeles and race in California
And the
around
trial.
country.
It's more about the trial and what they went through. I'm interested to see what these attorneys went through, all these giant ego attorneys. But watching it week to week is going to be hard, like because you're so used to Netflix now, where a show like Love comes on, you watch him. It's hard to wait another
You
week.
get mad now.
Yeah,
like when a new show
ridiculous.
comes on, you're like, I gotta wait. And I think some people will wait to the end
and then
to binge it, so the ratings get all screwed up because people are just waiting.
They can't,
but it's very well done, and John Travolta as Shapiro is hysterical.
Love him. I fucking love him.
Shapiro didn't act like that at all, by the way.
Oh,
he's like a real kind of almost like he had like kind of a tough edge to him. He's playing it very, very kind of like trippy light, but it's an amazing performance. It's really fun to
When
watch.
he first hits, he took me out of it a little bit. I had to get used to him as Shapiro at first, but I'm liking it. Whose performances you really liking this?
I mean, Sarah Paulson as Marsha
Amazing.
Clark is incredible. It's so fun to watch. And I remember that from the trial. You know, I was writing and I guess I wasn't even doing stand-up then. But the year of the OJ trial, I was just home. Mm-hmm. And I saw every second, literally every second of the trial. And I remember that feeling like, oh, these are two, not young people, but they're not like these mega rich lawyers. Yeah. And this is about like two scrappy people who aren't getting paid much money, who don't have this life, trying to beat the powerful dream team. And you felt for them, like, come on, you can get this point across. And then they just got beaten at every turn. And what's interesting in the miniseries is when OJ's doing the freeway chase and he's got the gun to his head, we all forgot that at that moment we were like, well, obviously he did it. If you didn't do it, you don't like drive around in your car with a gun to your head, and with money and a mask and stuff. Right.
Well, I can disagree with that, but go ahead.
And that all got tossed. I mean, if that didn't get tossed, it wasn't in the trial. He probably would have been convicted. You would assume.
No,
maybe not.
No, the jury didn't want to convict him. I think what happened was that wouldn't have made any difference because he just didn't want to get railroaded by the police. That would have been the way they sold it to themselves. I think the jury just didn't. I think they wanted an out. And I think that there were so many mistakes with evidence handling, even though we all knew he was guilty. It's almost like it was giving them the excuse. It's like it gave them the excuse they went to go. There was room for doubt.
Because there's that one detective who took some of the evidence home.
The shoes. He took the shoes home.
That's where they get
Van
in trouble.
Adder or Dennis Fung didn't handle things well.
And they were like, did you ever take the evidence home before? And he's like,
no. Oh, God.
Not your whole life?
Yeah.
Just that day?
And Furman hurt them, too. Furman hurt them a lot because, and Chris Darden was right, don't put this guy in the... So they made a lot of mistakes. The glove not fitting.
The glove not fitting is a biggie. And then Marsha Clark and them are just in shock. Like, why would you tell them to try to put the glove on differently?
Could you put the glove on? Like, what? Why would...
And then OJ had plastic on his hand to begin with, so that would make it a little tighter fit. But they couldn't work out of that one.
It's like Furman became the most successful of all of them.
He really did.
He was just like a confident guy who just afterward had no issue just being out in the public, being that guy.
Yeah.
And then when he writes novels or no true crime books, is that what he writes?
Oh, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I haven't followed him much. But I was only saying that it's weird to watch something that way as opposed to Netflix. I have no desire to wait a week. Like I want to watch things in a row, binge watch them.
Yeah.
But did we appreciate them as much that way? I don't know.
I like that when
I think
Girls is
so.
on, you got to debate it for a week and, talk about what you liked and what shocked you. And I feel like, and Sopranos was like that. It would have been bad to bang through Sopranos. I think we all needed to think about what happened.
Yeah.
And soak it in.
We were saying this the other day. Remember, the season would end, and you knew you had over a year.
Absolutely. There'd be a new president in office by the time it came back on.
It was way over a year sometimes,
No.
like 18 months.
It's brutal.
Can you imagine that in this day and age?
That was the longest one, yeah.
Now,
Crazy.
For a show on network, it's like you wait from like May to September, October. Our show
that's tough
drops
even.
in February and then next February. So, and if you watch it in 1 day or 2 days, you're really waiting a year. It's not spread out over watching it over 4 months.
We were talking to Bill Burr about F is for Family, and he's like, I worked for years on this, and you could swallow the whole thing up in a weekend. Does that bother you that you put all this time and effort in, and people are watching it within maybe 2-3 days tops?
I think that I have a larger issue, which is there's so much of everything. Sometimes I feel like I shouldn't do anything. Like I feel like everyone is eating everything so fast, and I don't know if it's in my head or not. I was watching these documentaries about Mike Nichols, and they were talking about The Graduate, and that really stuck with us all. I mean, we've talked about it for 45 years, and I don't know if we will ever do that again about anything. And so I go, what's the point? Even if you love it, if you forget about it 2 days later, for me to put in that much work, but that's our job. I mean, but it's weird. It's weird that, like my kids, if they like a band, they'll go online and in one night listen to every song they ever recorded and then never do it again. That's it.
Right.
That's it. So I don't know.
Like if it's not going to resonate for 30 years, it's almost like it doesn't feel like it's worth it. But then again, more people will see it immediately than would have seen it at one point, so maybe it all balances out. I don't know.
A little bit, but as far as music goes, when we were growing up, you had to wait and build up your money to go to the record store to get another album to listen to, and not these kids, man. Like
my
you said.
whole childhood, I think by the end of my childhood, I might have had 80 records. After
that's about right.
13 years in school. It was like that wide.
About a foot of records.
And
a milk.
That's
about
it. Maybe Chicago greatest hits. Linda Ronstadt greatest hits. I had a hip record.
Wow, we have different records.
I didn't see that coming either, Jimbo.
Some Al Jarreau in there. But yeah, you would play them over and over. And I just bought a turntable for the first time since I was like 17.
Does it sound different? Because you get like people that say, yeah, it does, no, it doesn't.
I can't tell.
Can you hear the difference? Or do you just like the nostalgia of it?
I don't know, because I never had good speakers since I was 17. So I don't know if it's the speakers or the turntable, but it is and I bought a really good system. I hadn't had one in ever. And, you put on a Led Zeppelin record and you go, wow, it really sounds like they're in the room when you have the sound right. And I don't know what part of it is that.
So you had somebody come in and do it for you, right, and fix it the way you wanted it and acoustically?
I was at Jim Carrey's house, and he had this stereo system, and it sounded amazing, and I just said, I'm just going to get that. I'm so dumb, I would never figure out what to do.
Right.
So I just said, okay, I'll get what he has, and it's been great. But you also... You forget, each side's 20 minutes, and I got to get up. Like, you're constantly... You're all used to this loop that never
turn
ends.
it over.
Right. So what album sounded better on vinyl than it did on...
I never used to listen to Radiohead, ever. I don't know, I just didn't get into it. Then you put it on with a good sound system, and you just go, I think I understand what everyone's talking about. But yeah, a lot of the old stuff. There's old Queen albums you put on, and you can't believe how good they sound.
Crackle.
Radiohead, The Bends is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yeah.
You've gone through that, I'm sure. By now.
All that stuff, In Rainbows.
It's amazing. I got into Radiohead late, too. Way late. But
I'm not that smart. It takes me a while on certain things.
I'm always late.
Yeah.
I discovered the Ramones 2 years ago. Yeah. I really did. I should be fucking beheaded.
Yeah.
2 years ago. Yeah. I'm like, wow, We're a Happy Family is a great song. Yeah. But once in a while, you just,
In 15 years, you're going to hear the Buzzcocks for the first time.
Who are the I've heard of them. Marin hosted, there was a show called Nevermind the Buzzcocks. Yes. Not connected, or is?
No, not connected.
All right.
I don't think so.
Cool. So I don't know TV or music.
Yeah. Hey, how's Amy doing? She's gone through a little shit lately. And we were on it. Jimmy got to interview her.
Oh yeah, I listened to that.
And she defended her points.
It's a funny thing. I mean, because Amy and I talked about it. And I talked about this with Lena before Girls aired. There's just a cycle of build up and then attack in the media, because you can only praise people for so long. And almost out of boredom, it all shifts to looking for something. Sure. And it's the most ridiculous issue ever. I mean, as comedians, we've seen every joke. There's not a night I'm at the Comedy Cellar where I can't trace premises to other people, whether they saw it or not. I mean, there's only so many things to talk about and ways to say it, and we all come from the same media culture. And so there's definitely like moments of overlap. I remember Fred Stoller being really mad at me because I did a bit about my phone having a speed dial. You used to have like 10 speed dials on your phone. And so I had some joke, this is like 91, about how I didn't have enough friends to fill my speed dial. And so it'd be like, 3 friends and mom, dad, 911, 411, operator. And it wasn't a great joke. And then Fred Stoller. It wasn't a great joke. That's a good joke.
Fred came at you.
It's a good joke for 91. But I remember Fred Stoller walking up to me and saying, I have a can't fill my speed dial joke. And he was furious. And
that alone is funny.
Yeah. Well,
seeing Fred funny.
Fred furious is much more low energy. But that thing, it's impossible to avoid. In a TV room, if you're trying to write a sitcom, I could trace every sitcom episode to something from The Simpsons. Any joke I think any comedian tells or any show says, I can find you that joke on one of the like hundreds of Simpsons. So it's very tricky, and we're all obsessively trying not to do it.
Right.
But there's certainly some parallel thinking. What I thought was most interesting is Amy has been on TV so much. She's appeared in so many places. And I mean, I've watched her. She writes thousands and thousands of jokes. She's one of the great joke writers I've ever seen. And it took them so much searching to find 4 tiny things that didn't seem like they would connect in any real way to stealing. It's so far from stealing, it's crazy.
Well, I'll say, when you heard about Carlos, everybody in the entire community would always say, "Yeah, of course he does it. He steals. And I at first I didn't see it. I don't pay attention to anyone. Like, no, this guy steals. He steals. And then finally, years later, it came out. Right. I've never heard that about Amy whatsoever. That was the first time. And I got to say, like, I looked at some of the jokes and I'm like, that's a little vague.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a little vague. I've never heard that about Amy at all.
Yeah, you get reputation as a comic, and, comedians kind of know each other. And like you said, long before something becomes public, at least comics, whether they would admit it or not, talk.
Right.
Or you know what I mean? And it's like, I would know it to myself if I ever heard anything like that.
You guys would have been thinking it way before this hit, obviously.
Without a doubt. I think so. I mean, unless all of us didn't. How could all of us not see it? Doesn't make any sense to me. Not with comedians.
We're bitchy old ladies.
Oh, my God.
Exactly.
Did you hear about so-and-so?
And also having sat in rooms with Amy for years now, and on the set, to see how fast she is and how inventive. There's that scene in the opening of Trainwreck where the guy takes his pants down and he has a big dick. And we have this on the Blu-ray where she's just making jokes about how big his dick is. And for like an hour, Amy's just both writing during breaks and riffing so many jokes. I think the one she uses is... have you ever had sex before, and where is she buried? I mean, that's as good a joke as you're going to get. So I've just seen it so up close that she's just one of the great joke writers of all time.
I'm getting a lot of shit lately, by the way. People are saying that I'm fucking doing this thing. It's like the 7 words you shouldn't say on YouTube. And people are like, man.
Have you ever had an issue with that when you're writing your movies where someone will come to you and go, Judd,
yes.
This was done before?
Yes. Always. I mean, I think that's the process.
And is that frustrating? Because oh my God, this is my thing, and now I can't use it because someone really knows it from this past movie or whatever.
We've had to kill things. In fact, in Bridesmaids, there's this whole sequence where they go to Vegas, and Kristen Wiig and Annie Mumolo wrote this really funny sequence where they go to a male strip club, and it had an amazing joke in it where, like, they put Kristen Wiig on a chair and the guy's dancing above her and shaking his balls above her, and one drop of sweat in slow motion falls off of his shorts into her mouth. And it was an incredible sequence. It was so funny, but it was like 20 minutes of the movie in Vegas. and then she makes out with some guy who turns out to be a college student, and we had hired Brie Larson to play his girlfriend,
wow.
and then Kristen Wiig was supposed to get in a fist fight with this college girl. But then The Hangover came out, and something else in Vegas, and we just said, everybody's in Vegas now, and we just did get him to the Greek in the first half's in Vegas, and so we just cut it all out of the movie and replaced it with the scene on the plane where they won't let her visit first class.
Right.
It was a great scene.
So yeah, it happens all the time.
What a pain.
It's frustrating, yeah. I fucking had to scrap a movie idea. I was so irritated.
What was it, Jimmy?
It's embarrassing now.
Yeah?
It's called Apocalypse in a Little Bit. And then it's been done.
We're back with more of the best of Opie and Jimmy.
We got Stone Cold outside the studio as well. Are you sticking around? What's your schedule? You busy
I'm here
today,
until
Joe?
someone pulls me out, but I think I'm here for a little bit.
Okay.
What do you want? You want to bring in Stone Cold?
Do you
Is he over
like
there? He
wrestling
wants to
at all?
come here.
What's that?
Do you like wrestling?
I'm a friend of Mr. Cena's.
Oh, okay. Well, then
There
bring
you go.
him in.
He was really, really good in Trainwreck. John Cena killed us.
It was a little crazy how funny he was, and
was
annoying in
very
some way.
good.
When you bring in a guy that's that good, and
Right.
you want to teach him, and then he doesn't need anything.
Yeah, it's frustrating when a guy is really good looking and an alpha and talented and fun. It's like, oh, fuck.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Hello, Steve.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, gang. How are you?
Fuck, you're in great shape still,
Thanks,
you
dude.
son of a bitch.
I just feel like I just got off the holidays. Me and my stupid buddy Ted Fowler were drinking about a half-gallon of tequila every day.
Really?
I think I'm still detoxing off that. No one light a match, I might go up in flames.
You know Judd Apatow.
How are you, sir?
Hey, man, how are you?
Nice to see you.
Nice to meet you. Hey, big fan.
Thanks, buddy.
And Jim Brewer.
All right,
Jim,
Steve.
how are you?
How's good, man? How are you?
Outstanding.
Yeah. What's going
Well,
on with you today?
I'm still on Pacific Coast time, so I'm not a morning person. So I'm trying to snap out of it.
It's not
Having
fun.
a hard time.
Did you just fly in yesterday?
Yeah, and everything was great. I slept the whole time. Then the pilot woke me up. Malfunction out there on the wing. Crawled out with a pair of pliers between my teeth. Fixed the engine. Probably saved 250 people. Another day at the office, right?
Yeah.
Bam. So I'm here talking to you guys.
What are you doing in New York?
We're talking about the Broken Skull Challenge. It's the toughest show on television.
Yes.
Spreading the word, creating a little bit of awareness.
A little buzz.
Jim, you got to get out there on the Broken Skull Challenge. We'd love to have you.
I'd love to be a part of it. Anything with a camera in front of it, you know me.
What are you out here pushing, Judd?
Broken Skull Challenge.
I love it. Team play.
I'm here. Forget about my thing. We're just promoting your thing right now. Now, what do I have to do to be part of it? What happens?
But it's great, the different names. Judd's got Love, and you have the Broken Skull. Talk about different men.
We love this, right?
Yeah.
He's got a Netflix show called Love, which is really good. I saw the first 4 episodes.
And it's about relationships and just how they develop.
And break up.
Yeah.
And
I'm a sensitive man.
I am too. Hell, I've been through, don't want to see, 3 divorces.
No.
Have you really?
Wow. Love.
That's what love will do to you.
Yeah.
Love and broken
Kill your
skulls.
bank account.
3 times.
I'm done.
You're done.
Yeah, I found my soulmate. I'm in love.
finally
I'm in love.
figured it
I'm
out.
a Judd.
So what happens on the show? I'm fascinated.
Yeah.
Broken Skull Challenge. Sundays at 8 o'clock, by the way. Was it CMT is country?
CMT, Country Music
Country
Television.
Music Television, okay.
Yep.
What kind of challenges are there?
Man, there's all kinds of challenges.
Yeah.
And each week we bring 8 people out there. You know, we shoot the men out first, and then we shoot the women. And 8 people, 3 rounds of competition. If you win, you go to the next round. If you lose, you go home. You don't get squat. We ain't got no parting gifts.
Yeah.
If you win, you're the last person standing. The next day, you come back to take on the toughest obstacle course in the world. It's called the Skull Buster.
Nice.
Call it the Skull Buster because it's designed to whoop a man's ass.
Yeah.
It will chip away at every different part of your body and make you wish you would have stayed home. So it's absolutely epic. We set the table for these athletes to come out here. And I've got some of the best obstacle course racers in the world, CrossFit people, national champion, amateur wrestlers, MMA people, some pro wrestlers. And, man, it's just off the wall.
Sounds perfect for me.
Brutality. It's right up your alley.
You're going to do it, Jim?
No, I'm not going to do
Why?
it.
There's
Because
a
I
camera
can't.
there.
That's not my world. I know that. I admire people that can do that. I'm not a very athletic. I mean, this. But you look at me and you think, obviously, I do this a lot, but I don't.
You work hard to get that.
Exactly.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, he's basically saying that I've really spent 3 years looking like the tub lady in The Shining.
No, I hate all exercise, and it's not even like
you hate all exercise.
I find hard to counting. Like I don't even like counting in the workout. It's not even the physical part.
I stopped counting. I just pick up a weight, do it a couple times. When it feels good, just put it down. Yeah. Or when it gets heavy, put it down.
Dude, you still do it all the time, every day?
Well, yeah, I'm trying to. Like I said, I'm trying to run about 15 pounds. I put on drinking all that tequila.
Over the holidays.
But that's what holidays are for.
Yeah, you can't
lose sight of that.
Right. Huh?
You train like a bastard all year to get in impeccable shape, and then you blow it over the holidays.
Right.
That's a good question, though. Have you done the challenge?
I've done a few of the challenges in slow motion.
Okay.
Here's the thing. People want to say, hey, Steve, you were a badass in the world of pro wrestling. Do you do the skull buster? And be like, well, no, the Patriots are out of the playoffs now, but it's not. You'd be like asking Bill Belichick, the greatest coach of all time, arguably, hey, Bill, are you going to get out there and quarterback the Patriots to a victory? Tom Brady may put him on the sideline. No, he's out there to come up with a game plan and, rally the team and try to beat the other team. So basically what I do is coach these guys up. They come up with their own strategy, turn them loose, and motivate them.
But you don't actually do the challenge. You're like the Sandusky.
Yeah, but Jim, I ride around on a Kawasaki mule right behind him on the skullbuster and yell at him, "Go faster! You're doing great!" Stuff like that, encouraging stuff.
Someone got lazy in the last few years. Stone Cold got lazy.
It's a great. Would you rather walk down a hill or ride down in a UTV?
Fair enough.
Right.
I'd rather help someone else down.
Are you ever going to wrestle? Are you ever going to wrestle again?
I got no business in a wrestling ring. I had a good time doing that job. Last match I had was in 2003.
Is it that long ago now?
Yeah. It took me about 3 years to get out of my system because I love that business. That was what I wanted to do with my life. And boy, after about 3 years of hunting, fishing, and drinking and making bad decisions, I figured it's time to go out to L.A. and start doing some work out there. And I'm done. I got nothing to prove.
What makes guys come back? Like after years of being out of it, you hear about they say GSP is coming back to MMA. It's like, is it just you can't handle not doing it anymore? You missed the ritual.
I've been able to. It took me a while. I always tell because like when you're in a business pro wrestling, the schedule is such a grind, and you're kind of living three different lifestyles. One, you're living as a pro athlete because what you do in the ring is hard. Then you're training in the gym, and then you got the rock star part of it because hey man, everybody wants to hang out with you. There's everything available. Then on the other hand, you're a truck driver. You're driving yourself. You're flying, catching all these damn vehicles to get to your shows. So man, it takes a lot out of you.
That's what I find amazing about your old business. That only a few of you guys got to get on the private planes with the boss, and everyone else had to drive themselves around, carpooling. Mick Foley's a good friend of ours. He tells the stories where he would fucking sleep on the couch of fans' houses.
Well, Mick used to be one of my travel partners.
He's very cheap.
Yeah. We like to save a dollar. We like to use the word frugal.
Frugal.
But me and Mick were two of the cheapest guys in the history of the business, but I never hitched a ride with any of the fans to go to the shows.
He did.
Mick did, but he was notorious for that.
When he was one of the biggest stars in the WWE, he would do this.
That's why he still has money.
And he would sleep on people's couches.
Yeah.
How do you trust someone?
He did. But look at Mick, and he's a dear friend of mine. But you're not gonna fuck with Mick. I mean, he's a sweetheart, but he looks like he's crazy.
He's a problem.
I didn't know you were frugal as well.
Do what?
I didn't know you were frugal.
Oh, legendary. Ask Mick, ask any of the boys. Yeah, man, I know how to save a dollar.
Give us one example of being frugal. Besides the travel shit.
Like one time, I think it was back in the heyday, and we flew into Vegas. All the boys stayed in the same hotel. I rented like a Geo Metro. It was like it was like a bigger version of their hatchback for $15 a day. I rolled up in front of the hotel in this brown piece of shit, and I did it as a rib. And the guys are looking at me like, this guy's making $1 jillion. He's driving that hunk of shit. So it was stuff like that. And back in the day when Kevin Nash and myself were in WCW, we would purposefully go out of our way to stay at the biggest shitholes we could find just as a rib. Right. So just stuff like that.
Well, you scared of bed bugs? That's why I'm like a prima donna.
But this was pre-bed bugs. Bed bugs didn't exist back in those days, Jim. They're kind of like this new thing that's how all of a sudden they got started. What, did these bed bugs just start...
Yeah, we didn't have
they're being brought in.
But bed bugs have been a phenomenon over the last 10 years. They've really caught on. So I was in the business before the bed bugs. Well, different kind of bed bugs came around.
Yeah. Do you spend money, or are you one of those guys that always panics about it being taken away too?
Well, I have found that money does not make you happy because there really is nothing to buy. All I ever buy is books, CDs, and DVDs, and I can't even think of anything to do with it.
Oh, so you're not like a big get extravagant shit guy.
I know. I bought it. The only thing I ever did that was done with money is when 40-Year-Old Virgin hit, I got a Porsche. I leased a Porsche. I drove it twice, and I got scared of it because it only really drove well if you were driving like 90 miles an hour.
Right.
And I left it in my garage for 2 years. I realized, like, oh, that's like the jackass made some money move, but it wasn't fun. Although I guess people enjoy their cars.
They do, but
it scared me. It was like I felt like this is a death machine. Yeah. I'm gonna die in this.
Are you a buyer's remorse guy? Like I buy stuff. I'm very compulsive, and then I'm like, why do they waste my money on that? I didn't even want it.
I hoard. Like I'll go to a bookstore and buy like 20 books at a shot. It convinces me I'll never die, so I just keep buying books and keep buying books. I don't read any of them.
Where do you live? Do you live in L.A. or New York?
I live out in Santa Monica, and I actually think that buying books is enough. Like, it makes you smarter. I won't even crack them. And my kids notice it. Like, Dad, I see all your books. They've never been opened. Right. But if I see something interesting, I'll just buy it.
And you can't throw them out. It's like keeping them. Why do you keep
tape?
Yeah.
I'm all about books on tape recently.
But I don't listen to them.
Yeah, at the gym.
I've been trying to get into that because I'll get a new book and something will intrigue me. Like the last one is The Death of WCW. And so it's been sitting on my desk for I don't know how long, and I'll see another book and, I say, man, I got to get that book. I really want to read that. And my wife will look at me, she goes, Steve, you bought 5 books in the last 3 years and you ain't read none of them. And so I was like, no, listen to her. I ain't going to read it. So I've got to try the audio books or something.
Yeah, if you're in the gym or something, it makes the time go by a little faster.
Yeah, but I like to have some headbanging shit on so I can crank out some weights.
What's the last book you read?
That's a good question. It was something to do with wrestling or something.
Yeah. For me, it was probably a biography. Someone we interviewed, I read half. Like, you read as much as you can as you go along, and then as soon as the interview's done, I move.
Then you don't read the rest of the book.
George the Animal Steel autobiography.
I thought you were serious. I was like, fuck, I'd love to read that.
What the Shoemaker's book? David Shoemaker. He wrote about a lot of wrestlers dying or something like that. I brought that book with me on this tour, but I was on an airplane yesterday morning. It was like a 6-hour flight.
Right.
I slept the whole way.
Do you have any
that's a depressing book to read.
Yeah. Well, I know. That's why I've had it for like 3 years and hadn't read it yet.
You probably know most of the guys in the book.
Yeah.
Why would you read that?
Oh, I just want to see what his spin on it was.
Oh, okay.
There's a new documentary about Jake the Snake.
I loved it.
Yes.
Did you see it? I haven't seen it. Is it great?
It
was pretty good, man.
It's very good, yeah.
Because he was in that other documentary, wasn't he? The one about wrestling that was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Beyond the Mat.
Oh, Beyond the Mat. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I liked it. They did a pretty good job.
They did a good job, and then they based that movie The Wrestler off of it. And I remember, I was sick, and I went to the theater in Santa Monica. That was the last movie I've seen inside a theater. And just because I was sick and in a gray mood to begin with, I was like, man, that movie sucked. But then after I was able to digest it and watch the way Aronofsky shot it, it's like it did a kick-ass job on that. Mickey Rourke was awesome in that movie. So it was a great movie. But yes, it was basically loosely based on what Jake's life was on the road.
Right.
But the resurrection of, if you haven't seen it, it's awesome. It's a great documentary.
Did you have any concussion issues? We've been talking about that so much with this OJ thing happening. All these ball players that get fucked up.
The CTE.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, the game of football starts to disturb me. Now because the game is played out in so much space. I think everybody is running at full speed. It's not like the game used to be. Don't get me wrong, guys were getting lit up back in the day, playing football, but now more so. And these days, when these guys are taking their shots, they're starting to convulse and get shark eyes and all kinds of crazy stuff. I think maybe only 2 or 3 concussions in a ring, because I think if you're concussion prone in the business of pro wrestling, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
Because you should be a flat back landing. I got dropped on my head one time. I was probably one of them in that bad pile driver incident. But no, man, concussions in wrestling. Well, back in the day when guys were taking all those chair shots and not putting up their hands, that can light you up. But by and large, I think you're doing something wrong if you got a bunch of concussions in that business.
So it's not a major problem.
I don't think it is.
It's a
Someone
major
else
problem.
might tell you there is.
It's a major problem in football.
Their heads are getting banged.
Dude, I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know what they're going to do either.
They've over-equipped the game. What? You can make they've over-equipped the game. You get these gladiators, and the guys are all bigger, faster, stronger than they used to be. And you can make the helmet as good as you can, but it's still the brain hitting inside the skull, stopping, and it is what it is.
There's no way to stop the brain from moving.
Then moving around in there.
Stone Cold Steve Austin in studio.
Does a fine podcast, by the way. This guy knows how to talk. But most of you wrestlers know how to talk. But you're one of the elites. You always were on the mic. It was you and The Rock was really good. And who else would I put in?
I'd put Mick Foley up there.
Mick Foley's up there.
CM Punk was awesome.
CM Punk was awesome, right. Let's finish out the top 5. One more on that
you got to
list.
go. If you go back and you watch some old Jerry Lawler stuff, you got to throw Jerry Lawler in as a talent when he was wrestling, and as a commentator now that he's gone back to some of his heel ways on the SmackDown show.
Did you ever, when you were doing one of those, did you ever just totally bomb? Like, oh boy, this is falling apart. The wheels are coming off immediately.
Yes, when you first start, and they stick a microphone in your face, and like you don't really know who and what your character is, or your persona, and you're green. It'll be like doing a stand-up thing when you're green, and you're like, oh man, I'm shitting the bed here. So, but you got to have you got to get to the plate and take some swings because that's the only way you get experience. And they want to script everything these days. But I'll tell you what, there's no better way to learn than going out there and falling on your face a couple of times, and then it's like, hey,
well. You got to give us one. Do you remember one line that you worked on and you're like, I know this is fucking going to kill, and it just fucking laid an egg?
No, I remember one time I came late to a show. We were doing a Monday Night Raw, and I had a pre-tape interview. No, it was a live interview in a hallway with Vince. And I got turned around, and I was always an early bird. I'm a time fanatic. I'm never late. And so all of a sudden we go into this promo, and I get lost, and I drop an F-bomb. And that's taboo. I can drop a lot of language on TV, but that's one of the ones you stay away from. But Vince jumped right in because he's such a pro and picked me up. And so I can't exactly remember the promo, but it was just like dead dog tired from being on the road. I was late, frustrated, didn't know what we was talking about, and there was Vince to pick me up.
What was your go-to? Would you have a go-to? Like, if things aren't going well, like the stand-ups, you have like a certain thing you'll go to or a certain technique to get out of it. Was there a go-to thing when you're like, this is going poorly, I know I got to do this now?
No, because I was always listening to the crowd. And man, if you're not listening to the crowd, man, you're missing out on everything.
Yeah.
And so if they're tuned in, and if I can get them, people always say, man, Steve, we wish you wouldn't have never invented the what chant. Well, if you speak at a cadence and don't put the pause in there to give them the what, they can't do it. So, if I got lost or things weren't on track, if I just started pausing, they'd come with that what, and then I'd work off that, start naming off a bunch of liquor, give them the old razzmatazz that way.
Right.
But it was always listening to the crowd, knowing where I had them. But I always had material.
You did.
But and it wasn't because I went out there with it. I just make it up on the fly.
I'm fascinated with how wrestling is able to keep the stories going and constantly change. It's like Days of Our Lives. Like these things, they happen every day. There's so much work and so many storylines, and they just keep managing to branch off to create new characters. It's amazing, like the longevity and just how much they can do.
No, just with social media and the way everything is sped up so fast these days, it's hard to get a slow burn on everything and get these long-lasting angles that can last, more than just from pay-per-view to pay-per-view. And then that 3-hour, Raw, I mean, that's such a long period of time to do one show of live television. That's hard.
And is there a head writer that works on most of these guys now, or does each event have different people?
There was. I mean, and they cycle those guys in and out. And it always seems like they draw from people that come from like a comedy background. And I'm like, man, this ain't funny. If we're trying to draw money, it ain't funny. So it should be some serious shit. But nonetheless, I'm not real up to speed with the writing staff, but they have a bunch of them. And back in the day, I remember stories when Vince and Pat Patterson would be at Vince's mansion in Greenwich by the swimming pool, and, they always wrote everything in a pencil because you could erase things that, guys dropped out or something happened, or, no, let's change this. So it was a pencil and a pad. And they booked the territory. So in booking the territory, you'd write TV, but it would be matches, promos, and everybody else would fill in the blanks. These days, they fill in the blanks for everybody, and it's very produced.
Right.
And it's the level of spontaneity is not what it used to be.
I agree with you. That's when I started tapping out. When you guys started retiring, the spontaneity you guys had was incredible. You knew you were just making a whole chunks of your mic time up on the spot.
And it's interesting because when Vince would go out there and we were feuding, or if it was myself and The Rock, who were great chemistry in the ring, or Bret Hart, hey man, he'd go out there and say something and be like, if I'm having a conversation with Jim, hey, based on what I tell you, and we're building a match, and I run you down, I'm going to give you props. It's going to be in business. Yeah. You're just going to listen to what I say and give it right back to me. That only makes sense, right?
Right.
Because that's what we're doing here.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with the promo. You're trying to build a match, and you spin off what each other's saying. So these days, with too much memorization going on, it's like
fucks it up.
You see in the eyes, it's like, okay, I think I'm getting all my lines in. That's not selling tickets. You got to feel that shit.
Right.
You can't say it.
But it's also hard to find those type of guys that could do that.
But true. But if you go out there through, sink or swim, once you fall a few times, you learn to pick your ass up.
You're
It's
out,
survival
yeah.
of the fittest.
Right.
So what would you do if you were doing it back and forth with some guy and he was awful? I'm sure you had those too, where you were so much better. Would you try to pick that guy up, or were there times where there's like, I can not help this guy? He's horrible.
Yeah, there is those
Depends
times,
if you like
but
him.
you can always make chicken salad out of chicken shit. You always can.
But I'd rather hear about the other side where you just didn't like the guy and he's fucking, he's failing basically, and you just let him die in front of everybody. I know you guys did that from time to time.
No.
Don't tell me you did it.
No, man, but you want to pick the guy up, and then if you got to take the biggest part of the promo, then you do.
Yeah.
But and they try to put steps in place so that does not happen.
All right.
Where you're not going to it's going to be 90% you and 10% them if they're not good.
Yeah. I mean, the last time I went out there, I was just going to do a podcast. I think I was there to interview Brock Lesnar, and they said, well, hey, all of a sudden they got a text message. We want you to open the show. And they say, are you ready for Raw? Give me a hell yeah. Are you ready for WrestleMania? Give me a hell yeah. 32. I got Brock Lesnar coming up later, and now it's my pleasure to introduce The Undertaker. I'm like, and they wrote me a script for that. And I'm thinking, it's 4 fucking lines. You kidding me? So, I said my 4 lines and went backstage. It was kind of anticlimactic. You go out there, you get this gigantic pop, and then you got to spit out 4 generic lines. Hell, I could have went 20 minutes with that.
Why didn't you just do it?
Because you got these young kids back in the back, and it's all
you don't
about
want to give
them
up
getting,
their time.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
man, it's their time.
Hey, have you talked to Bret Hart? You mentioned him in there. He's fighing cancer, man. Prostate.
Yeah, I just heard about that.
Is he? Prostate cancer. Yeah.
I gave Bret a call yesterday and left a message. And then he called me back and left a message. So, yeah, I have been in touch with him, and I wish him all the best. I love that guy, and I got so much respect for him. He truly is one of the best ever and an absolute artist in the ring, and I hold him in very high regard, and he's a very dear friend.
Do they know if it was something that he caught earlier, or they're not saying?
I don't know.
I haven't heard this.
This kind of just hit yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Scary. One of the greatest moments ever in wrestling was Bret Hart and Vince McMahon. When he fucking knocked out Vince McMahon. He walks out of the locker room all woozy.
Well, before that was on the screw job, but just that one time when he pushed him on his ass.
Yeah.
And he said, everybody in that goddamn dressing room knows I'm the best there is. I mean, that's when it's like, holy, this is real. This is a shoot. And so, like, everybody's eyes in the back were like this big. And that's when the people buy in.
Right.
Because it was a work, but it was real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but they were talking behind closed doors, and Vince comes out all groggy because Bret Hart gave him a shot.
Well, I mean, it was a Montreal screw job, and, hey, but to his credit, Vince went in there because he was going to settle it man-to-man with him. Bret didn't want to drop that title, and he was mad. So, I mean, Vince basically, let him have that shot.
Right.
So props to Vince for
taking the
shot.
Yeah. And they didn't get rid of him after that, did he?
No.
Well, no, because that's when he went down south. But he cold-cocked his ass.
Right.
Yeah, hit him with a shot.
Yeah, he lost his title in Canada.
Yep.
And that was
didn't want to.
Did he know he had to lose it, or was it a surprise that they flipped it on during the match?
Oh, yeah, it was a surprise. It was a screw job. Sean put Bret in his own finishing move, and the referee signaled for hey, that's it. He tapped out, but he didn't tap out.
Right.
And, boy, that's when Bret started going ballistic, throwing the monitors down, spitting Vince's eye, and he was mad. And I can understand him being mad. He got screwed.
He gave everyone great TV, though.
Oh, of course.
That was amazing TV.
But, man, I tell you what, and people think, it's a championship belt. It don't mean nothing. It's all fake. Bullshit, man. You take that belt very seriously.
Well, it's like one of those things, like I always wondered, like if you knew in advance, just don't do it. Like when actors die in a show, like I would just refuse to die. Like every time they shoot you, they're like, oh, he's gone. I would just go like, no, get me to the hospital. And they'd be like, cut, we can't use this, fucking asshole.
I was reading rumors that I always get these stone cold Google alerts and said I was supposed to be in the Expendables 4. And I was like, allegedly killed off in the first one when Randy Couture shot me twice, kicked me in a lake of fire. And I'm thinking, first of all, I'm not going to be on number 4. Second of all, I mean, like shooting me twice, kicking me in a lake of fire. I mean, that would be like going to the, like maybe a emergency room visit, but no big deal. A couple third-degree burns.
Right.
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I can come back from this.
I'm fine. I used to swim in the lake of fire when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Shit.
Hit an urgent care, get some Neosporin, some gauze, bam, I'm back at the house drinking beer.
Are you following this election? I see we have Donald Trump up on the screen here. What do you think of this whole circus?
Shit, man,
I mean, not just Donald Trump. I mean, the whole fucking thing is a circus.
Oh, dude, well, it's a circus. I thought he made it. If you want to talk tactics, and I don't really talk a whole lot of politics, but he screwed up when he no-showed in Iowa.
I agree. So.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
At that last debate,
if you're running for president and all of a sudden you got the chance to go out there and debate and you skip. Hey man, if all of a sudden, and I think Megyn Kelly probably rubbed him the wrong way or whatever. That was his big beef.
Yeah,
and maybe he thought she was attacking him. Hey man, if you can't handle Megyn Kelly, who's great at what she does, and all of a sudden you're across the table from a Putin or whoever, they're going to punk you out like nothing. So. Yeah. I don't know. I thought a lot of what he said sounded good at the time, but at the end of the day, man, he's such a knee-jerk reaction kind of guy.
Yeah, you can't say, and again, I feel the same way. Like, I would vote for him, but you can't go, she's not fair. Like, even if you're right, just deal with it and make her look stupid.
And he's been dealing with everybody else. You can't handle her. Right?
But, it's just some of the things. I mean,
yeah, a skirt.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know. What about the other side? Because what was it? It was tied.
Bernie Sanders
and Hillary was like 50-50. Did anybody win?
Hillary ended up
by 0.3 of a point.
Yeah.
Okay, she may be indicted by the FBI. What's with all the
I don't know what the hell's
stuff?
going on.
Come on, dude. I mean,
those are the rumors.
Can you trust this person to run your country?
I don't trust any of them.
Who's your guy?
Are
you saying?
No,
I don't have one either. Really.
I think it's hilarious Trump didn't show up. I think it's the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
But I think he messed up.
I think his fault. I don't follow politics. I don't give a shit.
Right.
So I stand from above.
Right.
I enjoy watching the circus. It makes me laugh that there's a candidate going, I ain't fucking debating. I'm out. I don't need to do this. And
then runs his own event.
And then runs his I'm doing my event over here.
Yeah.
And at the end, he doesn't lose any points. It's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling.
But Cruz beat him, and I think he would have won had he showed up. And now Cruz beat him. So, but they say he'll win New Hampshire.
It probably would have been a bit closer.
Yeah, they say Iowa does. Oh, what do I care? I'm sorry.
I know you
hate it.
But like on the
caught up in
podcast,
it.
I don't like to talk about politics because it's such a divisive thing.
Yeah.
And so if I'm trying to entertain somebody and take a load off their mind for an hour and a half on a podcast, I ain't going to start talking politics because I don't want to split the audience.
No politics, no religion.
No
it's
politics.
It's a general conversation in life.
Johnny Carson was the master of that. Remember Johnny Carson? You never knew where he stood politically. He'd make fun of the Republicans. He'd make fun of the Democrats. Right. But he was very subtle about it. He was pretty fair.
Right.
And to me, that's the way you should be. That's the smart way to be. And I fail at that a lot, but I admire guys who are really smart about that.
We do try to find the silly shit, and make fun of that and have some laughs over that.
Yeah, but Johnny Carson was the king.
Oh,
he was the best.
He was the man.
He really was great. Like, just to be able to have the entire country paying attention to you and not split them, like you just said, was miraculous.
And the thing, he would actually, he'd laugh at his guest jokes. A lot of guys won't laugh at their. Put my shit over, man. I mean, help me. And Johnny would play right into that. He had that self-deprecating sense of humor. Mm-hmm. He was just a master, and he was so at ease.
And he would just sit there smoking cigarettes as he's interviewing these guys.
That's back when smoking was kind of cool,
they
right?
Would be drinking on set,
drinking,
having a nice little party.
And he would never try to top the guest. And he was faster than most of them. A lot of these guys, like, you're setting up for something, you're going for 2 lines in a row, and after the first one, they kind of like they clunk in and fucking ruin it.
Yeah, and a lot of times you say something, they'll try to knock it over the park. It's like, hey man, I'm working on something here, and then you just try to knock it out of the park on me. I wasn't really finished.
Yeah,
let me one up you because I'm the host of the show. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, his instincts were amazing. Watching him do that, and watching him laugh, and watching him like help somebody or just nudge when they needed the nudge, it was perfect to watch. And then you interview people on a podcast or on a radio show, and you're like, oh yeah, there really is a way to do that.
Yeah, he was a master.
Yeah,
a master at it. So, what else going on with you? Stone Cold?
Man, shoot, man, I just had another show start on CMT, Redneck Island. It's on Thursdays.
What is that one?
Redneck Island. About Manhattan.
We go down to we go down to Georgia. I got a house on a lake. I got a Kawasaki jet ski. I'm out there for a month, and we bring in 24 people from the South. I like to call it like a countrified Olympics. It's kind of like, they go through these challenges, and if you lose these challenges, you get eliminated. It's off to, I think we're in our second episode right now, and on Broken Skull, I think we're going into episode 5 or 6.
What kind of challenges?
Oh, man, just water-related. I mean, they're running off ramps, like this, a 200-foot ramp, and sliding off into this lake, and they got to swim their ass off and get on these canoes and come back. Just crazy stuff, and there's booze everywhere. So, like, on one hand, I have, national caliber athletes at the Broken Skull Challenge, and then on the other end of that, I've got these hell-raising kids from the South, so it's the best of both worlds.
They'll do anything, those kids, right?
Absolutely.
Have you ever done any of that noodling?
What's that?
Where you catch the fish? What is it?
Man,
the catfish? What is it?
I like catfish.
Is it catfish?
It's catfish.
You put your arm down in these holes.
Here's the thing, man. You walk around the riverbank and you're sticking your hand underneath the bank to try to just stick your hand in the mouth of a catfish and pull him out.
Yeah.
I mean, man, dude, there's water moccasins down there. There's all kinds of bullshit in there. I've never, ever, in all of my days, had the desire to do that. So, no, I've never done it.
I don't know how you would do that. How would you get? How to get?
They're just not afraid.
To get to the point where you're just you're trusting. There's
right.
I mean, even the catfish going around in your fucking arm would freak me out.
Here's what's wrong with that. In the best case scenario, a catfish bites your arm.
Right.
That's what you're looking for. That's the best thing that can happen to you in that moment is a giant fish grabs your arm with its fucking teeth. That's a terrible scenario.
And they don't even really have teeth, right?
Yeah. They got some like sandpaper teeth, a little bit bigger, sandpaper, but still.
You don't know what the fuck's under these things.
I ain't got no desire to
Look at this guy. He doesn't give a fuck.
But see, look, there could be a water moccasin laying right there to bite his ass.
Right. I don't understand that one.
I'm not a thrill seeker or an adrenaline junkie, and the last thing I'd want to do is be walking around in a bunch of muck, and then maybe some other guy was there before him and put some damn beaver trap at the bottom of the damn river, and he steps in that.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that's mad.
84-pound catfish.
Wait, you're not an adrenaline junkie? That I'm surprised at.
No, well, I mean, in the world of wrestling back in the day, that was a kind of adrenaline when your music hits and the crowd goes crazy and you go out there and entertain them. But to go jump off a building and then pull a chute or something like that, Jim, not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
So when you get out of it, what do you do to make up for that lack of energy that you're putting out?
Well, it took me 3 years to get over that, so now I don't even miss it. But it's kind of like, I would imagine like very similar to you going on stage and you crush it with a great set. And then you're kind of high when you come off stage because you crushed it.
Yeah.
And so it takes a little bit of time to come down.
Yeah, it does take a little while after a good set. You're like, fuck, man, I felt so good, and now nothing I'm doing is comparing to that.
Right. So you just kind of chill out, let it wind down, and wait for the next one to go.
Yeah, I get the pretty girl. She comes back to the room. Then my erection fails. I'm like, oh, boy. There's always a letdown.
They're saying you got to go, Stone Cold.
I ain't got to go. They're lying.
No, you have to be live next door.
Where? With Sway?
Yeah.
Now?
I'm boycotting.
We're not lying.
No, somebody try to throw me out of this fucking studio. Thank you guys very much.
Good seeing you, Steve.
We're back with more of the best of Opie and Jimmy.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
How are you, man?
What's up, buddy?
What's up? Blessed by shout.
Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you.
It's early, right?
It is early.
This is too early. It's too early.
Bullshit. They pulled me out of the club.
Man, I like that jacket. I want to start with that. That's a nice jacket.
Hello, 1 2 1 2.
We're good.
Hey,
That won't work.
I got. There you go, dude. We're all watching The People versus O.J. Simpson. We're lucky enough to.
the episodes. Yeah.
I'm 5 in. I love this fucking thing.
Wow.
And you could curse here, so let's do it.
Oh, can you?
Yes.
Well, finger fuck me in the ducks. That's what I'm talking about.
I didn't think it's funny when I heard OJ. I'm like, I don't know if this is something I want to see.
Yeah.
And 5 minutes into it, I loved it. It's really good.
Thank you.
But FX has a good, reputation right now. So I was thinking to myself, if FX is taking this on, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And you play a damn good OJ.
Yeah, thank you. That's sweet.
Seems like you weren't trying to do like an OJ impression. Like a lot of guys just try to mimic like TV. How did you decide to do this? Because the emotion is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I don't ever try to impersonation. I'm not a stand-up comedian. I try to find the emotional core to every role that I do, People are like, why didn't you meet with him? I was like, because he's incarcerated. He's a broken shell of a man.
Yeah.
I needed to play him when he was like, that marquee Heisman Trophy winning, Naked Gun starring personality, egotistical personality. So
yeah, this thing. I'm sorry. From the first few minutes, you're hooked.
Yeah,
they filmed this thing beautifully.
Yeah,
they really did.
It's Ryan Murphy. It's funny enough because I was offered. True story. I was offered to play OJ in a movie about his innocence. Some guy had a bunch of money and he was going to self-finance the movie. My agents sent me the script. I said, "Who's directing it?" They said, "They don't have a director yet." So I passed on it. Literally 2 weeks later, my agents called again and said, "Ryan Murphy wants to meet with you." I said, "I'm in. Whatever he wants to do. This guy finds the truth in whatever he does." They said, "Well, he wants you to play OJ." And I thought it was a joke. But, working with him over 6-7 months, I see how focused on detail he is.
Oh, yeah.
And, he made me a promise. He said, "I'm not here to prove his innocence or his guilt. I just want to show that time period in America, 1994, the trial, the insanity of the dream team, these personalities, I just want to put the judicial system on trial." And I thought it was a nice statement to make with a real filmmaker, and that's why I'm here.
You had a great quote too, where you talked about when the verdict came out. You were cheering. How did you what happened when the verdict came out? You were at that time.
I was excited, not excited, but I was just relieved that another black man wasn't railroaded into being accused of something he might not have done. I didn't follow the trial. It was one of those things where O.J. Simpson not guilty. It was like, all right, okay, cool. They didn't get us, But then, delving into this world for 7 months and seeing all of the evidence, admissible and inadmissible, because, we're a miniseries, just kind of looking behind the scenes. You feel a sense of guilt because there were two victims two families that were torn apart by this.
Yeah.
These crimes. And, it really put it in perspective. It's like the thing with reality TV is you can laugh and you can really get behind the scenes and feel like you're a part of the dysfunctional family of whatever the case is. And you don't feel the stings and arrows of the reality of what people have to deal with. And it was one of those things where on the set I came to terms with the fact that, these families were grieving the loss of these two individuals. So
Fred Goldman has said that there wasn't enough about Ron. Like I like that part now in the 4th episode where they introduced Fred. That guy was great.
It's unbelievable how great he plays him.
But it is funny. Like we really do. Like Ron was 50% of the murder victims, and it's like he's just like they said, a footnote. It's not talked about as much.
That's the only thing about this. Maybe they should have mentioned Ron a little more 5 episodes in. But besides that, they captured the time. And I was going to say, I said earlier too, they're using some real footage too. They're blending some of the real footage in, which is fantastic.
Yeah, it's like it's entertainment first and foremost. But at the same thing, we as artists have a responsibility to reflect the social ills,
right,
and kind of dissect it and hopefully find healing in it. And what Ryan did not want to do is kind of like exploit Ron Goldman's life and Nicole Simpson's life prior to the murders. So he didn't cast actors of note to play those parts. He didn't do any in any of the 10 flashback episodes. You're not going to see flashbacks.
Right.
You're not going to do that. So yes, that's one way to look at it and say that Ron Goldman, it was kind of his background and his life was kind of marginalized. But I think it was out of respect of the families to focus on the trial in terms of the technicality of the trial and and what was the happenings and the surrounding and the personalities, as opposed to delving into the lives of Ron Goldman and kind of exploiting it that way.
That's a good point. They don't actually show you. Even Nicole stuff is only how it relates to OJ.
He didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's like I live in that area today, still in Brentwood area. And
you ever get a Brentwood hello?
Oh. Yeah. Still waiting for that.
That was a wonderful little moment in the series.
I know.
But anyway, sorry.
But what I was saying is, I ran into a woman who actually dated Ron Goldman. And she had said to me how sweet of an individual he was, how he would never wish ill will on any individual. And it was one of those things where she had heard I was playing O.J. Simpson and she wanted to give her 2 cents about his life. And it really hit home for me that we're really talking about individuals and we're talking about families. So
Yeah, as opposed to just like a giant news story that kind of, Paul, because I don't think, I was shocked. I think most people were shocked. I think most white people were shocked at how polarized black people and white people were on the verdicts.
Yeah.
Like, I knew that other comedians I knew felt a certain way. We would argue with the Comedy Cellar, but I never knew that the entire country, right down the middle.
It was,
yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was black and white on this one.
Yeah.
And I thought I knew everything about the trial because I lived it like everyone else through the TV, and I'm learning so much stuff in this miniseries.
Yeah,
and what is that based on? Like people's books?
Jeffrey Toobin's
It seems
book,
like there's a few different books they're referencing.
There's a lot of books. We had so much research materials. We had video footage and so much. It was like a cavalcade of just things and information going and permeating our psyche every day, and then sitting in that courtroom for months, just watching video. It really started to affect your soul after a while.
When did you feel like, all right, I got this as OJ? I mean, you go into the part, and you probably have confidence, obviously, but as you're doing your research, when did it hit you like, okay, I got this?
Well, I don't know if I had that moment, because I think once you start filming it and you start to express the emotion, because it was an emotional roller coaster. But I will answer it this way. It took me, it never, in my career of doing, I'm going on 30 years doing this thing, becoming real life people, it never was this hard to expel this from my soul. It took a month or two for me to finally, deal with the fact that I went through a nervous breakdown during filming.
Did you?
I had that moment. We were shooting that scene, the funeral scene where OJ kisses the corpse of Nicole at the funeral home, and we broke for lunch, and I went to my trailer, and I couldn't stop crying, and I didn't know why I got so emotional about it, and I think it was because, like I said earlier, I identified with the guilt and the, the pain that I felt that I could indulge in the media circus of the trial and the birth of reality TV, but yet when it came to these two families, I distanced myself from the grief. And I think it finally hit home.
That was like the humanizing moment.
Yeah.
That made it like, wow, these were real people.
So you feel like he's guilty of the murders?
I don't. This is why I don't answer that question. The only question
I was hoping you would.
Because if it was politics and I told you I was Republican and you were Democrat, everything that came out of my mouth from that point on would be tinted by your opinions. And again, this is, I'm an artist first, and I will say that when Ryan we would do certain emotional scenes, and he would say, all right, this take I want you to express the frustration of, you knowing who killed them, and but you having to keep your mouth closed. And then he'd say, this one I want you to deal with the guilt of having committed this crime. So we really did come at it from a neutral place. As an actor, you can't judge your character, because as soon as you see him as a bad guy, you miss all the colors of him, being a good guy and vice versa. So I really tried to come at it as a blank slate. And, and the process of acting is your mindset. You have to be aware of the camera and your marks and everything. But your body doesn't know it, That's why you produce tears. That's why you get rashes. That's why you throw your back out sometimes, because your body is going through the trauma of what you're seeing. So, I tried to live in that space, that mental space. And now that I've, went on this 6-7 month journey, I've been back and forth, really, and I think, if we did our job right, I think at the end of the 10 episodes, you will. I don't care, because I know you'll believe he's either guilty or innocent. We're not here to change that. I don't think we can do that. But I think when the verdict is read, not guilty, you will go, I get it now. All the bullshit I just saw, I get it now.
What was it was amazing that with the Broncos scene. I didn't think I could have any interest in that. And the way you played it, the crazy grief and the anger and the rage and the fear and the self-centeredness and the whole thing that. I mean, it's one of the best things I've ever seen an actor do was you in the back of that Bronco with a pistol at your head.
I remember watching the Knicks game on TV and then them breaking into the telecast with a small box set of that Bronco on the freeway. And I remember an hour or 2, 3 watching the TV, and it was the full screen of the Bronco, and we had the game on the radio. Our interest was, I remember feeling like when that Bronco was sitting out in front of the house in Rockingham and the helicopter lights flashing over the top of it, any little reflection of light I thought might have been a nuzzle blast of a shock, or waiting any moment for them to pull his limp body out of the Bronco, and all the feelings that
It was crazy.
No, it was crazy. It was crazy.
It was amazing TV.
Yeah.
And you did a great job with that.
What was the first part you shot? I'm always wondering, in the thing, they never shoot it in order.
Yeah.
And emotionally things build and change, but like as an actor, you got to be so good. What was the first thing that you guys filmed?
In terms of the series or that day?
In terms of the series, what was the first?
For me, it was. It's interesting. It's an interesting question because, I kind of was created in film and cinema, getting your script, rehearsing it for 3 or 4 months, or 3 or 4 weeks, excuse me, and then shooting it out of order because you have that one script. You could do the last scene the first day, or the second scene the last day. But with a TV series of 10 episodes, you literally start with the first script and you start at the beginning of the story.
Oh, wow, okay.
And, shooting over 6 to 7 months, beginning of this thing, I was in shape, I was tanned, I was playing OJ when you see him coming back to, Rockingham and Brentwood after getting off the plane from Chicago. And then in, I don't know, it was like March, April. And then finishing it up in October in the courtroom, or, I don't want to tell you how it ends, but...
no spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. But having gained 20 pounds.
You did?
Yeah, losing the tan and being that emotional wreck. You literally see the progression of my character through these 6 or 7 months. So that, to me, was very interesting, to be in that mindset and literally going in chronological order of those 10 episodes.
Oh, I didn't realize they'd done it like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I didn't even read the second script until I was 2 weeks into filming. They gave it 2 days before we shot that second episode. And then that trend continued all the way through the process.
I just don't know how you guys shoot things out of order. That always amazed me.
Yeah.
It feels like it would be a lot easier just to go from the beginning to the end, but when they jump around like that because they have to for whatever.
Well, you get to see the progression.
Oh, it's nuts.
And you said the Oscars didn't really concern you as much because TV is so good. Like, they feel like there's a lack of black people being.
Well, you just
no
put all my statements in one sentence.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I did combine two.
Yeah. I don't know if I said it like that.
Let me see. You know what? Let me blame the prep sheet.
Yeah, exactly.
I won't blame myself. I'll blame the prep sheet.
I think the spirit of my statements, because I've talked ad nauseum the past couple of days about it, is that I think it's more of a statement of the Academy Awards are the end of the food chain of events. If you look at it and you say, well, we're blaming the Academy Awards for not being diverse, I think you have to look at the executives who make the decisions to greenlight the projects. I think that's where the fault lies. I think, to say there are no nominees, you're too late. You've already missed the train of events. So my concern isn't with the nominations as much as it is with the process.
Boy, I really did cut his statement in half, didn't I? I really, unintentionally, I totally misquote. I 100% got it wrong. I couldn't have got it wronger.
You still love it. I love that. You're loved, bro.
Too funny.
And what are you watching on TV? Oh, sorry. What are you watching that you like? Because you said you did say that you like what's on.
Oh man, there's so much. Well, I guess the statement out of that was born of the diversity on television. It's so great. It's like the Rainbow Coalition, and I'm watching shows like Fargo, and Netflix has shows like Peaky Blinders in the fall. You know what I mean? It's
what
like
is that? I don't know.
and the Nick.
I don't know that one.
Cinemax.
Tell them Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders is phenomenal. It's just phenomenal.
So good.
Like, I don't want to compare it to. I mean, if you did, you'd think of like Gangs of New York. You think of, in the 1920s or 1800s, and when we came over as immigrants to America and we formed this great nation, there were, especially in Manhattan, it was the melting pot of diversity, and you had all of these different neighborhoods that fought against each other, and you had the same thing happening in England, and you had gang warfare. And you have these characters that come together and they force their agendas on each other because they're in close proximity of each other. You had racism that was settled physically at any given moment, and the show is phenomenal.
So
Cillian
good.
Murphy is killing the game. You know, these characters are killing the game, and it's really a really.
And you said the Nick too, phenomenal.
Nick,
Tom
and the Nick.
Papa's in it. Tom
I was
Papa
in
has
an
a
episode.
reoccurring. You were. Wait a minute.
I played a projectionist.
You sure did. You did.
Yeah, but they gave me a great mustache. I look like a pedo. A big thick mustache.
You have a really good look about you for character in radio. So.
And they gave. But they dress. They're really weird. They dress.
It's phenomenal.
It's all original clothing.
It's phenomenal.
The scenes are.
I'm
so
saying,
beautiful.
people are like, "Why you're doing TV so much?" It's like, 'cause that's where the real fucking stories are being told right now.
Yeah,
you know?
TV is great.
They're killing the game.
There's no
right
reason.
now.
Yeah,
It's really cool.
there was a time it felt like a step down for actors, but not anymore. No, for a while now too.
And I think it's because you look.
I always found that stupid, by the way, but whatever.
Well, think about it. In the 70s, you had the Francis Ford Coppolas and the Martin Scorseses saying, "I'm not going to tell movies the way you want me to. I'm doing it in my own voice." And they did it with the attention to detail, in ways that were really capturing truth in every moment. Well, now you have those same new up-and-coming filmmakers doing the same thing on television. Fukunaga with True Detective, directing every single episode of that first season. Steven Soderbergh with The Nick, directing every single episode of now 2 seasons running the camera, holding the camera. These are the filmmakers that they recognize that they can tell their stories and control the content. Breaking Bad, you're getting these filmmakers who are stepping up and saying, now I can show you a scene, and then at the conclusion of that scene, all the characters in that scene, I can show you their backstories so that you really get caught up in this world, and it's brilliant.
Right on.
It's brilliant.
We found little Jimmy as.
I can't watch it. I can't watch it.
Is that you?
It's me. Yeah.
It's 14 seconds.
I can't watch
You look like a man. What happened? You look so manly.
I can't watch my performance in front of an Oscar-winning actor.
It's
I just
14
can't do
seconds.
Just that still makes me think that you could throw down.
Let's push
with
play on
anybody.
this. Push play on this.
It's
14 seconds.
I know, but he doesn't have headphones on.
Celluloid. Amazing substance. Thicker pieces can actually be molded into objects. I know one fellow who makes jewelry out of it and fools people into thinking it's real ivory.
Damn, that's a good mustache.
High five! I messed up the high five. I missed the high five. God, what a fool!
You should have that mustache back
It was
on
fun
you.
watching Clive Owen work. Was amazing because right before that, I was projecting, and he was doing this medical monologue, and literally to watch a guy do that type of dialogue, and there was the only direction he got from Soderbergh was Clive, your shadow's hitting. Could you back up? It was like there was not one bit of acting direction, nothing.
I've been watching him for years, and it's funny too. To go back to the other thing we were saying about film versus television, when you did a movie and you were up against some big franchise movie, whatever the franchise was, if you didn't win that weekend, if you didn't make box office, boom, you were kicked out of the theaters, and hopefully somebody would find you on DVD at the Blockbuster.
Have you done anything like that you're like, this was a good movie and it just didn't kick in immediately?
Oh yeah, Men of Honor was one I did. It made no money in the box office, but anywhere I go all over the world, people say that's the favorite film that I've done. And I look at Clive Owen's work throughout all of those films that didn't do the box office, and I said, he's a talent. Yeah. He's going to get his moment to shine. And I believe that the Nick is doing it for him.
Boys in the Hood is one of my favorite things you ever did. I mean, that's what, 1991.
Yeah.
And
Is it that long ago now?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
25-year anniversary. No, tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I just watched it. They just showing it back on.
Black don't crack. Hopefully.
It don't crack.
Yeah, you look the same.
They also say everything tastes a little better on a cracker, so don't worry.
I've never heard that. I appreciate it. I don't believe it, but it's nice to hear.
I'm kidding. I just lost half my fan base.
That's 25 years ago.
Man, that's crazy.
That is nuts.
Yeah, it was weird moments in that. Like Ice Cube was so great in that, and there's a great moment when the guy is what was his name in the film? The guy who was shot, the football player. It wasn't Kenny. Ricky. And Ice Cube is trying to comfort his mother, and she won't hug him. It was that was such a good fucking movie.
Yeah, the subtleties of that story. Just dealing with black families in the inner city, and how an outward show of affection was a no-no. It still is in a lot of
my
instances.
thing was the cop when he had the gun to your face and you teared up when
Yeah.
the black cop was so
Yeah.
frustrated, and it's the same thing going on now.
You know
And
what's so
that
funny
same-
about
yeah.
that scene? I lived in Woodland Hills at the time, and my buddy and I were coming home from the set filming, got pulled over by the cops, harassed, asked what we were doing in that neighborhood. I was like, I live in this neighborhood. And they're like, we could shoot your dog. I mean, they were just pricks.
Wow.
About this stop, and we weren't speeding, we weren't doing anything. And they were like, "Well, what do you do for a living to have such a nice car?" And I was like, "I'm doing a movie about police brutality." In South Carolina. And they were like, "Oh yeah, I heard about that project." And then they became like sweet and nice. It was like, and then we shot that scene. So it was
That
like,
was-
it was
man,
like,
that
yeah,
scene
it was too close to home.
is the-
I forgot about that scene.
That's
Look at Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh, he's great.
Morpheus.
Yeah.
Morpheus,
That's pretty funny,
which
man.
is another brilliant film.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yeah, he always plays a pretty intense guy. Wasn't he Larry Fishburne back then? That might have been before the.
Until Roscoe Lee Brown,
I don't remember.
told him to call himself Lawrence.
Lawrence.
He said,
That's
"Call
right.
yourself Lawrence.
That's
No
right.
more Larry."
That's right. I was on Broadway for 7 months with Miss Cicely Tyson. And I'll never forget, we did a photo shoot. I thought of this because you just said that. And he was like, "All right, can you guys move to the side?" And she literally walks over to the photographer and goes, "There are no guys in this photo. That is Mr. Cuba Gooding Jr. And I am Miss Cicely Tyson."
Whoa.
And he was shaking the rest of the photo. I think he peed a little.
Let out a little.
You know that story when
A few drops.
Richard Pryor was doing they were doing Bustin' Loose, and he was just such a difficult guy, which you can't not love him. He was just being so miserable to Cicely Tyson, and Miles Davis, I guess, was her
The husband.
yeah.
at the time.
And Pryor said that he got a call from Miles Davis, and he just said, "Rich, that's my woman," and hung up on him. That was the entire interaction.
Rich, that's my woman. Rich.
He's like, well, God.
Slam issues in the face.
Calm down.
How was Travolta getting back to People versus OJ?
He might be my favorite co-star now.
Yeah.
He might be my favorite co-star I've ever shared the screen with. Because, you just think of his life. You think of the roles that he did. You think of how big his star was.
Mm-hmm.
He had Grease and Staying Alive in the theaters at the same time.
doubt.
So like,
Crazy.
He would just sit and whenever he'd go, so I remember one time, everybody in the courtroom would lean forward because they know they were about to get
A Travolta
another
story.
amazing Travolta story.
Yeah.
Remember, want to be starting something. Got to be starting something. Michael Jackson calls him and says, "I wrote a song for you." And his schedule took him like a month to call Michael back. When Michael called him, he said, "Oh, no, I recorded it for myself." And it was "Want to Be Started Something."
What?
Wow.
Isn't that deep?
He wrote a song for Travolta to sing?
Michael Jackson wrote a song for John Travolta to record. Because remember, he had an album out,
Right.
John Travolta.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I wrote this song for you, John."
By the way, did anybody interrupt Travolta and go, "What the fuck were you doing for a month? You call Michael Jackson back. How busy are you?"
That's how famous he is, though.
Oh, my
That's
God.
how famous
He
I've
showed
never
us
been that busy.
pictures. And the
That's
story
funny.
actually was born because one of the extras said, "John, I'm a photographer." An older gentleman said, "And I would like to give you this gift." And he gave him pictures of him and Michael Jackson in tuxedos hanging out at some award shows. And that's when John goes, "It's interesting enough, I have a story about Michael." And he told us that.
That's
Isn't
a
that
great
crazy?
story.
He was a sweat hog. Did
Yeah.
you know this? Sitcoms, he was killing it too.
And then he kind of faded out a bit after a couple of films. And then Pulp Fiction. What's that?
Boy in the Plastic Bubble.
Yeah. But all kidding aside, we've all felt like that boy. But and then he comes back with Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction, I think, is what kind of put him back into like, wow, he's a cool guy.
He went away for almost 10 years, I would say.
I love him as Shapiro. I think he's. I don't even remember how Shapiro spoke, but I'm really loving watching him. I'm just buying him as Shapiro.
And I didn't realize the relationship between Shapiro and Johnny Cochran was a little intense to say the least.
It's so funny. It's
I
hard
had no
for me
idea.
to talk about the show. 'Cause
I know, that's what-
I have all 10 episodes in my head, so I like to spit out information. They're like, no, that hasn't aired yet.
Right.
But people don't realize that Shapiro hired all of those lawyers to help OJ, and then got marginalized, got pushed to the shadows.
As he should have, though. When you watch the way it went down, it was not unreasonable of them to want Cochran to do it. It was not. It made perfect sense. He was definitely the talker, the better orator, the sharper lawyer. The fucking Shapiro's a settler. A guy who wants to get you a deal. And really, there's a great moment just where you have to make a decision, and just you do it over the phone. It's over a speaker in an office, and just the way you're going through this, just not really wanting to say it's so good, man. There's not one thing about this film I haven't liked.
And
so
then
far.
David
It's
Schwimmer
so-
gets involved.
That's the baddest shirt I've ever seen.
I'm Jim, but thank you anyway.
I mean, Jim.
That's okay.
What did I just tell you?
What?
What did I just tell you?
Did you like my shirt?
He complimented your shirt. Said that's the baddest shirt.
It's a great Muhammad Ali shirt.
I have shirts from the same company, Roots of Fight. I'm telling you, when you wear that stuff, they're gonna compliment you because it's the shit.
Well,
no, I didn't
his
even.
face and everything.
Yeah, it's a great
told
one. And the
you.
back is even good too.
Ali,
yes.
Boombaye.
Yes.
Ali, Boombaye.
Yes.
They say I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna knock him out. I'm fast. I'm pretty. I'm the greatest. I told you.
I can't do Ali, but I do a great Mobutu.
He's killing it.
I was just talking about. I was just talking about black people on T-shirts just are awesome. White people like to wear black people on T-shirts.
They do or they don't?
We do.
They do. I'm wearing us on T-shirts and they look awesome.
But it was not a conscious decision today. I promise
I don't
you.
know, this is Black History
It was
Month.
Jake. It was going to be my Jake LaMotta shirt, and my LaMotta one, the one I don't like, is it's one of those shirts with a collar that's a little too wide, and I don't
it
have.
Makes you look a little ill.
Yeah, it makes me look like
no one can pull off that.
No, unless
collar.
you're really buff, you got to be huge to do that.
There's 10 guys in America that can pull off that collar.
Yeah, that's like
and they all wear the balloon pants.
yeah.
And they
Oh, that's
work
that
out too much.
70s weightlifter.
I had a couple of those shirts. I say had because I threw them away. I'm like, I can't fucking pull that look off.
Yeah, I'm a man who needs a tiny collar.
Yes,
I need a
I'm
small
with you.
collar. I can't go with a big fucking Chuck Zito collar.
Yeah.
Chuck Zito! That's my dog. Chucky Z.
Darden, Marsha Clark.
Yeah, Sterling Brown. I didn't know who that actor was.
They're nailing
showed up-
it.
He showed up on the set. And I was like, oh, what has he been in? And I went on IMDb and looked what he was in. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then he just was like doing his thing. You know?
Nice. It's not a bad performance. It's. I think people are going to love this damn thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'd be kind of. Again, it was something I thought I was so OJ'd out. I'm like, I have no desire.
Right.
And 5 minutes into it, it was just, it got me. And it was really interesting. And it's much more interesting than I thought it would be. And it's a lot of stuff I didn't know that I thought I knew.
I love learning about the relationships behind the scenes. That's fascinating to me. There was a lot that went into this. Yeah.
It's so weird, you know. You do a film, people sit, the lights come up, and they give you their impressions. You do a TV series, they show you a few episodes. I'm like, wait, there's so much more performance. Like, you don't even understand. It's just weird, you know.
Yeah, I got through. I've only been on it for 2 days, and I wish I had gotten through more. We only have a preview for 6. Is it going to air once a week or how?
Once a week, once a week, every Tuesday. Wow. Tuesday FX.
Or do you wait for them all the show and then get it on demand? You know,
we're getting spoiled with that too. It's kind of hard to wait.
I kind of like to wait.
Binge watching.
Binge watch.
That's all
instead of
about
like
binge
next
watching.
week on the.
Fuck that next week.
Yeah, I want to wait.
We say this all the time, like with The Sopranos and all that. You had to wait a year for the next season. This is just crazy.
Do you know who I like more now because of this? Robert Kardashian. I always thought he was kind of a villain, but he just
the real Robert Kardashian.
Well, I mean, I love the way Schwimmer's paying him.
But you like Kardashian.
Now I do more because you see, like, okay, he was, in my opinion, he was siding with the guy who killed his wife, but he just loved OJ. He was his friend.
Didn't
he
Kris
loved him.
Jenner say that she always regretted divorcing him?
Did she say that?
Yeah, I think so. He was just such a soul of a man.
Yeah, like he really loved his friend, and he didn't want to believe that he did it, and you know, whatever. But watching Schwimmer do it, it's really,
I'm loving his performance in this.
I've never really watched Friends, so I know one or two things he's done.
I can't wait for that shocked look in the courtroom near the end there.
Yeah,
when they
not
read the
guilty
verdict.
and the
Please tell me they stumble over the not guilty, just like they did in real life.
Oh, she said the name Orenthal wrong.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah, she said the name wrong.
Okay, they have to keep
I
that
won't
in
say
there.
it on radio, but
They keep that in there.
They have to.
It was her only.
I know what the fucking. They'll be mad at me. When we shot that scene,
all right, good.
And they say the people, this actress, I don't know her name. She was just, she had that one moment where she reads the not guilty verdict. Did it exactly?
Oh, good.
Wow.
That was her only. She had a big spotlight and she blew it.
Isn't it? But
she
that's
had like 5 seconds.
And that actress was. Now think about it.
Yeah.
That actress was sitting there waiting all day for her close up to do that scene with myself, John Travolta, Sarah Paulson, David Schwimmer, all of us just like this. What's this bitch gonna do? What's she gonna do?
Yeah.
And she nailed it. And the first couple of takes, John goes, no, the first take, I'll never forget. He goes, no, let's do it again. She messed her line up. They were like, she's supposed to. True story. I laughed my ass off. I was like, this is the baddest shit that ever happened on set.
That's how well she did it.
She's like, no, do it again. She messed her line up.
They made
John,
fun.
she's supposed to.
Yeah, they made fun of that lady for years. For messing
How was
that
Courtney
moment up.
B? How was Courtney Vance?
Phenomenal.
What an underrated.
And she looks like her, too. I'm
underrated
pretty sure
actor.
you guys haven't seen episode 7.
No.
You said how many did you get?
They've only
I'm up
given
to
us 6,
5.
and I
Wait
finished
till you
4.
see 7.
Yeah.
7.
Did
I'm
John
bummed.
Singleton direct the final episode?
He directed episode 5.
Director of
Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
Yeah. Had you worked with him since Boys in the Hood?
And it's so funny. We had a moment where we did a few takes. I won't tell you about it because I don't know. I'm probably going to ruin all of this shit now. But he goes, all right, I need a minute. Cuba, can you come here? And I thought, all right, he didn't like that take. And he pulls me into a closed part of his head and he starts crying. And he goes, we come full circle. And I was like, and I started crying because I was like, you're right. We were both for 22 when we did Boys in the Hood.
Jesus.
And now here we are, 25 years later, together doing another moment.
I've had directors cry for exactly the opposite reason.
You just know, no doubt, we're not having a moment.
No,
no
not at
moment
all.
for me when they call me into another room.
Yeah, when I look out the window and I see a casting director walking with all her shit in her hands. Like, oh no. Oh,
I
boo.
told you I hired Jeff, and they said Jim. I didn't know what to do.
What's this title of this movie? Ugh.
We got to wrap up, but I got to ask you really fast about Lionel Richie. I think that's amazing. That was your first thing you did in entertainment?
You
were a break dancer?
Professional break dancer in
Which
the
one?
1984 Olympics.
For Lionel Richie?
Break dancer with Lionel Richie during it all night long.
All night long?
In the closing ceremony.
Okay.
I was 1 in 200.
Okay.
I was one black dot on
Okay,
the
you're
screen
all
with
night
big
long.
rooms
Okay, now
dancing
I have
behind
an
the
all night long
What are you
story.
doing?
I'm a Travolta now. Okay, we're at this party. I'm with the Wayans. We're at just some random party in New York. And we're all, and they're playing hip hop, blah, 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 blah. And we're dancing, talking, having fun, the Artie, all that. So then all of a sudden, the DJ just cuts the music off. And All Night Long comes on. People dancing. We're like,
what is this bullshit?
Like, it wasn't a mix. It was just like, okay, it's Lionel Richie. What the fuck's going on? And, and he's singing. Nice go. I said, Lionel Richie, all right. So everyone's like, all right. It's fucking Lionel Richie on the top of a fucking table singing live. We were screaming like bitches. Everybody sing. Everybody sing. He was on the table. He grabbed the mic on the table.
You were pissed at first.
I was like,
this bullshit up.
He just didn't. We were listening to fucking Nas and De La Soul and Lionel Richie. What? And he was right there on the table with a mic.
And I think the real story
Surprise
is
performance.
how much confidence does Lionel Richie have to go, stop the club music?
Remember that hip hop bullshit?
Yeah. And
we're going to sing all night.
And you know what? And we bowed and we were all like, oh, no.
Just saying, I got this. I'll stop everything I got.
I have one more question for Cuba. It's something I wanted to ask you because it was one of your first things coming to America.
Yeah.
How did you get into that scene? Like, I know because you were just an extra in the barbershop during one of the funniest scenes in the movie.
I was cast. I auditioned against a bunch of other actors because there was a scene where I tried to hustle them out of money. And it was, you think you were bad as an actor. They cut my shit out.
They sure did.
Didn't even make the cut for the movie. And I'll never forget because I was with my girlfriend, who's my wife today, 29 years later, thank God. And I'm watching at the premiere or the screening. I didn't get invited to premieres, but I was at the screening and that scene started and then it ended. And I was just,
They didn't tell you.
And she goes, they'll cut back to it. No, they don't. Bitch, they don't cut back to shit they cut out. I didn't make the movie. Yeah.
That's funny. Mad funny.
Well, you're
dude.
great, man.
Yeah.
You're a great actor. And this is such a
We
such a
love
good
this
series.
fucking thing.
Jim Dizzle.
We love this thing.
Yeah, I
It's
really
the
love
People
it.
vs. OJ, American Crime Story on FX.
Oh, is this live?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got it.
And that's it for the best of Opie and Jimmy. Follow the show at Opie and Jimmy on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Catch them weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on Sirius 206 XM 103. Or stream the show at SiriusXM.com or through the SiriusXM app.